Original reporting. I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. Israel and Lebanon have agreed to a 10-day ceasefire. President Trump today at the White House.
Had a great talk with both of them today. They're going to be having a ceasefire, and that'll include Hezbollah.
But CBS News correspondent Cami McCormick says the militant group is disputing that.
Hezbollah has said it wouldn't abide by any agreement worked out by Lebanon and Israel. A UN spokesman was asked what the Secretary General's advice would be.
To abide by the ceasefire.
Many Israelis are skeptical Hezbollah will be reined in.
It never ends. We have to finish it right now.
Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu calls it a historic opportunity.
יש לנו הזדמנות לעשות הסכם שלום היסטורי עם לבנון.
Lebanon has insisted on the ceasefire to stop the fighting between Israel and Hezbollah while vowing to commit to disarming the group.
Netanyahu says Israeli troops will remain in an expanded security zone in South Lebanon despite the ceasefire. President Trump says he has a right to disagree with Pope Leo.
The Pope made a statement. He says Iran can have a nuclear weapon. I say Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
In fact, the Pope has specifically spoken out against nuclear weapons. Leo made another plea for peace today in Cameroon.
Let us all say a prayer to the Lord that peace will truly reign among us.
Days of torrential rain have flooded homes and businesses across upper lower Michigan and the upper peninsula. Jillian Lors lives in Sheboygan.
I'm just trying to get the rest of what I can get out and then hope for the best. I was very lucky. I had just moved into this place, so I didn't have too much stuff other than my personal belongings. So furniture-wise, I didn't have to worry too much.
Officials in Minnesota today announced criminal charges against ICE agent Gregory Morgan. This is Hennepin County's top prosecutor, Mary Moriarty.
We have charged Mr. Morgan with 2 counts of second-degree assault, 1 count for each victim, for threatening the victims with a dangerous weapon.
It's another step forward for the president's plans for a massive arch at the entrance to the nation's capital.
The 250-foot-tall arch will stand between the Lincoln Memorial and Arlington National Cemetery, featuring a winged Lady Liberty at the top with a torch, along with golden eagles and lions. It's among several projects underway as the president seeks to leave a lasting imprint on the district. Trump's arts commissioner, Rodney Mims Cook Jr., says D.C. needs 3 arches, not just 1. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
A key federal agency reviewed and approved the design concept today. Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ are all up fractionally less than an hour before the close. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Chinese citizens are told to avoid Seattle. More on that straight ahead. But first, a quick check on that KIRO Newsradio traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. All of our major routes are looking really good this noon hour. We've got a little slowdown through Seattle, and that's about it. North 5 backups before the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. And again, approaching the Ship Canal Bridge. Altogether, it's about 25 minutes tops to make it through downtown. And then South 5, a little crowded from about 85th through the U District. Nothing heavy, right around 20 minutes from Linwood into downtown Seattle. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. 3 companies are exploring plans to build massive new data centers here in Seattle, which could consume as much as a third of the city's power supply. One estimate says the proposed data centers could use as much electricity needed to power around 300,000 homes. Andy Strong with Seattle City Light says they're working with the mayor's office to keep other customer rates low.
It's speculative to know how much of a load these additional data centers will bring.
The 3 companies are in exploratory stages to build data centers near existing City Light power stations. China is advising its citizens to avoid SeaTac Airport. The Seattle Times reports China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued a warning to skip the Seattle area after 20 Chinese scholars with valid U.S. visas faced unreasonable questioning and were ultimately denied entry by U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. In addition to avoiding Seattle, the ministry urges caution traveling to the U.S. altogether. Washington's police officers are falling way behind on training required by law. KIRO News Radio's Amanda Factor has the results of a new state audit.
The nation's first police accountability law requires 40 hours of de-escalation and cultural awareness training for every officer in the state. Auditors found just 16% of veteran officers have finished, 14% of newer officers. The state auditor's office says at this rate, roughly half of all officers will be out of compliance when the 2028 deadline hits. Agencies say they are struggling with the cost and the time commitment. The audit asks the legislature to convene a work group to figure out consequences for noncompliance. Manda Factor, KIRO News Radio.
Starbucks employees are jittery about the future of the coffee giant in Seattle after the company leased a massive office in Nashville, Tennessee. The Seattle Times reports that's enough space for up to 2,000 people. Starbucks currently employs about 3,000 people in its SoDo headquarters. The move comes amid criticism over Seattle's business climate, along with concerns about new state taxes that could drive companies out of state. Starbucks says it's not leaving Seattle. And now your KIRO News Radio weather, a nice warming trend in the days ahead. Mostly sunny and 56 today. 60 tomorrow, mid-60s, and partly sunny through the weekend. 46 and mostly sunny in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
My mic's not on. The whole entryway.
That might have been the best entry you've ever did.
Best ever. All right, well, what's up, guys?
Ever.
Yeah. Spike's here too.
Hey, thanks.
Lost to the sands of time.
I know, right?
Such gold.
Wow. Happy Thursday to you all. Wow. I will try to remember to turn on my microphone.
Hey, buddy.
We got a lot of stuff to get to, Spike. We pulled an audible earlier this morning. We were supposed to talk about something else to start the show. We were going to talk about weather, but anybody can look outside and see that it's probably nicer than it was yesterday.
Yeah, but we have some insight as to what the heck went on yesterday.
Okay, well, we will talk about that in a second.
We'll get to that, but to your point, there's a bigger story.
There's a bigger story. I saw this headline. I was like, this is just...
bigger than thunder, bigger than lightning.
An amazing story.
Bigger than tornadoes.
Yeah. Charlie Harger brings this one to us. Congrats, Charlie. Thank you very much for hosting this. It's on mynorthwest.com. You guys can go and read it there. He was looking into this news piece that he had been looking at recently about fare enforcement on King County Metro. Now, this is buses. This is not this is not Sound Transit light rail.
Correct. These are not the fare ambassadors that grabbed me.
Yes, I thought originally this applied to you, but that doesn't apply to you.
I thought I had the same misconception, but I didn't realize that there were enforcement officers riding the Metro buses,
trying to make sure that people are
Yeah.
paying to ride what they should be paying to ride. Listen to these numbers. And then I have a very simple question that I will ask you, Spike, because you're a very nice guy. You are much nicer than I am.
I try to see the bigger picture
on
things. I'm not easily outraged.
Well, I'm not trying to get you outraged. I am just trying to ask your thoughts on this. I'll tell you where I'm at on this in just a second, but let me give you some of these numbers. So King County Metro has fare enforcement officers, and they have 30 of them that ride to make sure that, as Spike said, people are paying what they should pay. Full-time workers riding, they build 40,000 hours of work, and they issued 8 citations. 30 full-time workers, 40,000 hours of work, 8 citations.
2,000 warnings, 2,100 warnings.
Who cares about warnings? A warning and a nickel will get you nothing.
Get you a nickel.
8 citations, and guess how many of those citations actually return money to King County Metro for improper fares?
Oh, there was $20. There was $160 on the table.
Should be.
Hopefully they got that money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Would have been a $20 fine.
Yeah.
0 have been resolved.
Yeah, I saw that.
30 officers, 8 citations. I should say fare enforcement workers. Officers makes them sound like they're cops.
They have the ability to issue citations.
Yeah, but they're not out there like chasing criminals.
Well, there are no less officers than the guy who gave me a seatbelt ticket Sunday Easter morning.
But they are far less officers than police officers. That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
30 fare enforcement folks, 40,000 hours of work, 8 citations. So here's my question. The budget for these people is $3 million a year. What do you do with them now?
Well, I think you let them keep doing the good work they're doing.
You stop.
No, I'm serious.
You cannot be serious.
I am serious.
Are you? Honestly, look me dead in the eye. It's going to be a new segment we're going to have called Dead in the Eye.
Dare you. Look me in the eye and
look me dead in the eye. 30 full-time employees riding King County Metro buses.
Sure.
They have 40,000 hours of billable time. That is full-time work, benefits, everything included. $3 million was spent on this program. Sure. 8 citations, and they didn't pay one ticket. And you would keep all of them employed.
Well, their mission isn't really fair enforcement. To be completely transparent,
Why is that their job? Why are they called fair enforcement officers?
Their mission is to build a culture of paying to ride.
Doesn't sound like they're doing it.
Well, they only had to issue 2,100 warnings over the course of the year.
You're the nicest
So the
guy
vast
in the world.
majority of people on that bus were paying.
That's not true. That's not true.
How many people rode the Metro last year?
Here's what King County Metro's own numbers say. 35% of riders aren't paying their fare.
So 2/3 isn't a vast majority?
I wouldn't call it a vast majority.
Okay,
I would call it a majority. I would say a vast
majority. A majority.
Almost 40% are skirting the fare. And of those who are not skirting the fare, of those who are skirting the fare, they're not writing citations. They're just saying, hey, you know what, guys? We're creating a friendly environment where we want you to feel like, are they offering them pillows? Like, what are they doing? For the $3 million, are they giving them complimentary
they're just saying,
mints?
hey, this is a paid ride, right? You guys, were you not aware? Here's the problem. It used to be the buses, you could only get on the front. Remember those days? You get on the front. You had to stare down a surly bus driver.
Yeah.
Who said to you, there's the fare box, Mr. Man. Either put your money in or don't get on the bus.
And then all the bus drivers kept getting attacked, and they said, "Can you please put a door far away from us so we can stop getting attacked?"
That's a side effect. It's a secondary effect. No, but the people get on the bus at the back end, and I'm being a little facetious here. People on the bus at the back end, and they don't have to go by the surly bus driver, and they just come on, they flop on, they don't pay.
Yeah.
And it's about a third people who don't pay, and that's unacceptable. I'm with you there.
Sure.
It's unacceptable.
Okay.
But these officers, their intent is to build a culture where they tell people, hey, look, we're going to need you to pay your fare. We're going to issue warnings when appropriately. They issued the 8 citations, and none of them got enforced because people of the 8 citations they issued.
Yeah.
Misinformation was given. No cell phone number. No home address. They were just got sunshine blown up their skirt.
How is it possible that they only issued 8 citations, 40,000 hours, even with 2,000 warnings? 8 citations is a very low number. Let's take a percentage of 2,000. That's a very low number. Why only 8 citations?
Because most people who were issued warnings were real citizens, basically.
Okay.
Who they could have some accountability to. And the 8 citations they issued sounds like they were all just, those living on the streets or living on the bus, as the case may be.
How could I hear all the time about how Seattle, King County, their budgets are just hurting. They're always in a deficit. Seattle is in like a $150 million deficit coming up.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what King County's is, but it was run by Dow Constantine, so you can only imagine. My guess is they don't have a ton of extra cash laying around. Why do you need culture creators on buses, paid culture creators? That's what they are. You're saying they're not for fair enforcement, even though that's their job title.
Well, they're fair. Yeah, you're right. They're fair enforcement, but their main goal isn't to give me your ticket, give me your money.
Well, they should rename the job then. It seems to me that they should just be called like
Ambassadors
friendly
of
officers
Kwan,
or kindness,
right?
Ambassador of kindness.
Yeah,
because it has nothing to do with but wasting money. $3 million, fire them. What use is that?
Well, I think they've been. Their mission isn't to enforce fair. Their mission is to change the culture.
The title of the job.
That's fair.
Yeah,
no pun intended. That's valid. But I think they're accomplishing their mission. I know it's an outrage piece because it makes you crazy. But if you look,
it's outrageous.
If you can look deeper into the story,
let's look deeper. But text us on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476. Jeff Switzer, who speaks for Metro, he's a spokesperson for Metro.
He says that get along, man.
He says that the goal of these enforcement officers is to create a culture of riding right. He says fair enforcement is one part of a multi-pronged strategy. It doesn't sound like they're doing that one part, but whatever. To build a culture of riding right, connect all riders to fares that are affordable to them, and to help Metros fund service. The job of fair enforcement is to connect with riders. They should be called connection officers then, not enforcement officers. The job of fair enforcement is to connect with riders who have not paid, educate them about the consequences, apparently if they're none, of non-payment in the future.
Hey, next time, the next 5 times we catch you.
The next time you do this, you might have to talk to me, and I'm a bore. Consequences of non-payment in the future, and most importantly, to make sure they understand Metro's expectations and create access to fares that are affordable to them, which again sounds like it's just zero in most cases. So I don't understand what the $3 million is going for. All of those things could just be...
It's a promotional campaign to tell people that they should be paying their way on the bus.
You know,
and to raise awareness of expectation.
I almost wonder if they're using this $30 million. They know that these people are essentially doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And instead they're like, well, it is bodies on the bus. We do want people to ride those buses because otherwise, and Sound Transit, it's going to look empty if we don't have these people on here. Even
you
if
think they're just filling seats?
I think they're just filling seats at this point. I mean, it's good for something, I guess. Come on.
I hear
Come
you.
on.
It's an outrage. This piece is. I mean, I love Charlie.
Does it not outrage you?
No, it doesn't outrage me.
Why does it not outrage you? I want to understand how does your brain work that it doesn't outrage you?
Because the idea of this movement, these enforcement officers, and I'll give them that they're calling. That's what they're calling them.
Yeah.
The idea for these enforcement officers to raise awareness is to tell the folks who are the 1/3 who aren't paying, hey, their expectations. You're riding the city thing, and maybe a little shame work is involved.
Okay.
And so they issue warnings, and hopefully we'll have to see what the next year looks like. I'd say we got to know. So next year, do we issue less warnings? Do we issue less citations? If you cut the amount of warnings in half, haven't you done your job?
I would assume, to justify the cost, I would assume that right now 35% of riders are not paying their fair share, right? Or at all. They're not paying anything. So I would assume that if this $3 million is invested wisely, that by the end of next year, then there should be 100% compliance. People should be paying for what they're riding.
Yeah, I would think.
They're at 65 right now. They should be at 90.
Yeah, I think that's a fair. Yeah,
that's a fair number.
A year teaching these folks
and
what they expect.
And if you guys are not at 90,
that's
fire
fair.
them.
Yeah, it's an information campaign. It's a change the culture campaign.
Wouldn't it be better to spend $3 million or half that on like ads somewhere than physically people?
It is. It's an interactive ad. They're moving up and down the buses. They're talking with people.
It feels like a jobs program for people to me. It feels like they're just creating jobs that are actually useless. Is that wrong? Is that a wrong way to think of it?
I think it's a wrong way to think of it because they're performing a service. I think they're having some success.
Do you ever go on?
First off, they gave us this information. How many people aren't riding the bus? We got that to pull from it.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. That's true. I don't think this came from the fare enforcement people. Those probably came from, you could look at how many people are clocked onto a bus and how many fares you have. You could probably do that without a fare enforcement.
Maybe, but I'm assuming that part of the discovery that 1/3 of the passengers aren't bothering to pay is part of the information gathered from this year's interaction from the fare enforcement team.
It can't be it can't be from
the bus
them,
buddies.
Though.
We'll call them bus buddies.
Bus buddies is great,
right?
It can't be from them though because there's more than 30 buses, right? And they're not riding. There's not a fare enforcement officer on every bus. They're not counting all the people not on every bus.
That's true. They're doing a random. Aren't all numbers though? I mean, I don't think 30%.
Approximations.
Yeah, I think they are. They're estimations of approximations. They take a sample size.
Sure.
They multiply what they found by the number of people on the bus. It's probably true too,
That's
right?
That's probably true. But we do know that the budget's $3 million and that they have 8 citations and they have 0 tickets enforced.
But again,
and when your job is ticket enforcement, call me crazy.
Is the goal to get $3 million in fares or fines?
Yes.
And to justify your budget?
Yes, I think so.
So you equated it to an ad campaign.
Okay.
Right? Couldn't they have done what do you think an ad campaign to let the city know it's time to stop cheating the bus drivers?
Well, Washington State has new taxes on ad campaigns, so they'd have to factor in the tax on the digital ad campaign.
Yeah,
that would be less advertising. But
what do you think? What do you think an ad campaign a citywide ad campaign to let people know?
Well, you already own the space because you own the bus, so it's not going to cost you much there. So you could just print up a paper. Cards. I can go on AI right now. I could ask Claude right now, make me a bus campaign to encourage people to pay their share, and if they don't,
do you think the city could pull that off for less than $3 million? A citywide ad campaign?
100%. 100%.
I think a business person could.
Well, if you're implying that cities know how to do things, I'm in full agreement with you there.
I'm just going to, we've got this established set of realities.
Yes.
And when city government does something, it's not the most effective way to do things.
It's rarely the most efficient.
Right?
Yeah, it's actually usually the most inefficient.
I bet if you ask the city, what would you spend on an ad campaign to educate people on how harmful it is not to pay your fares?
Sure.
I bet they'd spend way more than $3 million.
I'm sure they would because they would try to get away with it if they could.
Isn't this a bargain? Had 3 million?
No, I would
human interaction?
No, fire the people.
Bus buddies?
Here's the last thing.
30 people are working.
Who wants human interaction on a bus?
Put 30
Do you want
people out of
human
work.
interaction on a bus?
I keep my head down.
Wouldn't you be
I
willing-
pretend I'm listening to music. I'll even hum a tune.
The most effective thing that they could do for their job as fair enforcement is go and try to sit next to a human being and talk to them. If you did that, and you threaten them, you say, hey, if you don't pay your fair share,
I'll be back here tomorrow.
I'm going to be back here. I'm just going to keep talking
my
to you.
aunt's goiter.
That person's going to pay every single day. They're going to hold up their ticket, and that's the most effective they could be.
That's brilliant.
But the city is not doing that. They're saying we want to create a culture where people can ride right, whatever that means.
Ride right. It means ride having paid. I love your idea, though, of haranguing people into paying. If you don't have a ticket, I'm going to sit next to you and talk to you about my recent divorce. My dead-end job, my unfulfilling job as a fair enforcement officer for Metro.
Give me a taste of the text line, Mike. What are people saying about fair enforcement?
All right, let me bring it up. I got like 15 screens open. A lot of folks are saying only citations and no disciplinary action is not a good use of funds.
There you go. There you go.
The wheels on the bus go round and round, and only 30 fair enforcement workers didn't look up from their phones. Keep them working. This is tantamount to theft, and the taxpayers are the ones being ripped off.
Let's end it there. That's exactly
Can't
right.
say it better than that.
Oh, my goodness. What a crazy world we live in.
Never even got the weather.
We never even got to the weather. Did you see all the weather yesterday?
I drove through it. My windshield, I could barely see. My wipers are on high. I'm getting lightning flashes. I'm hearing thunder rumble.
Did you see any of the snow?
I saw some. I didn't see any snow. I saw some. You know when your windshield
videos
gets,
of snow.
You know when your windshield gets hit with partial snow and rain, and you can see the snow, the ice. I hit some hail.
Sure.
Hit my windshield. Yeah.
I was at football practice last night with my son. I'm standing out there. It's freezing. And it starts hailing. And these kids, they're running around in T-shirts because they're all acting tough.
Well, plus it's spring. It's flagged, so there's no pads.
There's no pads.
Right.
They're just having a blast. And it's hailing, and me and the other dads standing there just in misery.
Well, because you're not
freezing
moving.
cold. Yeah. We're not moving.
Yeah,
We're just frozen.
Those kids at least have some action.
Yeah,
some activity.
Yeah, it was, but it was beautiful. I mean, it was just wild weather. You got hail coming through. You got the clouds are parting at certain points. It was at one point it was rays of sunshine, hail, and rain, all at the same time.
In your same field of vision. Yeah,
gorgeous.
Isn't that crazy?
And I just really wanted to be inside.
It is the stuff of paintings. It really was.
Yeah.
See the water spout on the Sound?
Yeah.
And I tell you what, there's a great piece on My Northwest from Ted Beener about what happened yesterday and why. The Northwest Convergence Zone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the weather coming off the Pacific Ocean either comes down through the Straits of Juan de Fuca or goes around the south end of the Olympic Mountain Range.
Sure.
Like you see, equated to water in a stream going around a rock, then meeting back on the other side where we live, South Snohomish County, North King County, those areas. So those weather fronts from the north and south converge here, and we get spring hail, we get spring snow, we get heavy rain. When we get tornadoes, a couple of year tornadoes here in the Convergence Zone. It's some of those. That's why we always have that last gasp of winter.
Yeah.
We had spring a few weeks ago. It felt great, 70 degrees, sunny. We were all ready. The cork had popped.
Everybody thinks
we're done.
But we got nice weather coming up.
Sully hasn't had long pants on in 2 weeks.
Well,
Chris Sullivan.
He's February.
He's committed.
He stops wearing pants.
Committed to spring.
I've talked
I
to
admire
HR
that.
about it.
Speaking of Sully.
Yeah.
Sully's coming up next. That's a great tease. Thank you, Mike. Sully's going to come up next. He's going to be with us.
Well,
he's got a great
speaking
story.
Of fair enforcement.
Yeah.
Right? This ongoing pattern
you could
of
check
we're
this,
just too nice a town to charge you for what we're giving you?
Check this out on mynorthwest.com. Sophie's, not Sophie, Sully's got a piece about Sound Transit's upcoming Sophie's Choice. There's all this talk about whether or not they're going to be able to complete the extensions and the main backbone that goes into
Tacoma
or Everett.
West Seattle's already been left at the altar.
This thing is a boondoggle. Chris is going to join us next to talk about it. Stick around.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
Yeah, yesterday's weather was weird, and you want to be able to trust your home's roof. If you're not so sure, do yourself a favor. Call my friends at Integrity Roofing and Construction. The number's 206-202-ROOF. They are an incredible company. Trusted local roofing team, winner of Business of the Year, year after year after year. They offer free estimates, of course. You can visit integrityrc.com to schedule a free roof assessment or a video inspection today. Years of experience in roofing and full restorations, full design team on staff. integrityrc.com is the website.
Aetna was there for me as I was going through a rough medical patch this year. I had peace of mind, which helped with my healing.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when requested. We show up with the latest in online tools for easier access to healthcare. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about baseball. It's game day. The stadium roof is open. Our club's putting up a fight. They're cold brews in hand. But outside, the police are getting ready to spot fans trying to steal their home base. Maybe the night threw you a curveball. An officer made an error. Or perhaps the bases weren't the only thing loaded. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know it's not 3 strikes, it's 1 strike. And you're facing the Grand Slammer. 1-800-DUI-AWAY is here to help, even if we have to go into overtime. So call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to set up your free private consultation. When you're on defense, it's full count, bottom of the ninth. You want your closing pitcher on the mound. 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-877-CARS for kids. KARS, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today. 1-877-CARS for kids. KARS, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS4KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to cars4kids.org now or call 877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS for kids. KARS, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left?
I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped.
Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Nate Connors. Seattle police arrested a man after a tense standoff in the Roosevelt neighborhood last night. Officers responded to reports of a man waving a gun on Lake City Way Northeast and found him in a stolen BMW. SWAT took him into custody. Police say it appeared he was in a mental crisis or possibly under the influence. The gun was a realistic BB gun. No one was hurt. Former Seattle PI reporter and columnist Joel Connolly has passed away at the age of 78. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more on his life and legacy.
From his early days at the Seattle PI and later at the Northwest Progressive Institute and Post Alley, Joel Connolly's reports and columns changed policies, saved the environment, and inspired a generation of readers across the Pacific Northwest. A young protege at the PI, Casey McNerthney, shared his interview with Connolly, asking him, how much fun is it to be a reporter?
You try to multitask, and a lot of experience covering things in the state. There's still a little bit of drive in me, particularly to try to save places, keep us from being Californicated.
Joel's family shared publicly he kept writing up to the moment his body failed him. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Authorities are asking for help identifying a man found dead near Medina under the 520 bridge Tuesday. The medical examiner says he was 18 to 30 years old, about 5'8", light eyes and long light brown hair. He had a small cross and heart tattoos and was carrying a Bible. You can see a sketch from the medical examiner's office on our website at mynorthwest.com. Call the King County Medical Examiner if you recognize him. Well, Seattle saw rare mid-April snow Wednesday. Snow and hail fell in neighborhoods including West Seattle and here in South Lake Union. University of Washington Atmospheric Sciences professor Cliff Mass tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770. This started with a very cold air front from Alaska.
Then it went over an unusually cold Gulf of Alaska to the south, so it stayed cold. And then it swung right into us from the west.
A waterspout formed near downtown, prompting warnings to stay off Puget Sound. On Wall Street, numbers are up. The Dow up 115, S&P 500 up 12, and the NASDAQ up 53. And now check on your KIRO News Radio traffic. Things haven't really changed in the past half hour. Here in Seattle, North 5, you're backed up before the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown, and then approaching the Ship Canal Bridge about Lakeview Boulevard. About 25 minutes to make it through downtown. And then South 5, just minor scattered crowding from the U District into downtown. Bellevue to Seattle, 10 to 15 minutes across the lake on both I-90 or 520. Federal Way to Seattle, a half hour. And Tacoma to Olympia, also a half-hour commute. Now, look at your weather. Sunny for most of the afternoons. We'll start to see some increasing clouds toward evening. 56 for our high. Partly sunny tomorrow and 60 and mid-60s for the weekend. Sunshine and 49 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. We're very excited to have Chris Sullivan on right now. He is got a great story. You guys should go and read this on mynorthwest.com. We're also going to talk about it right now. Chris, welcome to the show.
It's good to be here.
Chris, you have an attention-grabbing headline, Sound Transit's Sophie's Choice.
Maybe a little heavy-handed. Maybe a little heavy-handed, but I
like it.
I wanted to drive home the point here.
Yeah, and I think you've done it.
And to be fair to that headline, it does go over, but there on the front end, I need to put out a disclaimer because we're talking about fair enforcement, fair evasion, fair recovery, light rail, and whether or not it's time to finally go New York on this and do turnstiles and fare gates because Sound Transit is $34 billion in the hole going forward. And so with everything being on the table, maybe you would think maybe recouping some fares would be a way to do it. And to be fair, recouping fares isn't going to fill the $34 billion. Okay, let's just say that on the front end.
Okay.
But when you're $34 billion in the hole, getting a few extra bucks in your pocket along the way helps, right? Every dollar helps. And so I went to Sound Transit. They have been as an agency recently, since the pandemic, they have had a time getting people to pay for their light rail trips.
Yes.
When light rail was created, when it first started in the 2010s, fare avoidance was like 5 to 8%. People paid 90 to 95% of the time when they got on that light rail from Seattle to the airport or whatnot. So early on, and it was because we've been on the honor system the entire time, really. I mean, we had fare cops, technically King County, that were there and had the power of the sheriff's office behind them to kick people off and on. So there was a kind of a carrot and stick there. But coming out of the pandemic, not only were people not riding light rail during the pandemic, they weren't going anywhere, and two, they certainly weren't going in a tube while people were worried about an airborne virus. But coming out of that, we went from 90 to 95% fare compliance to 55%. So 45% of the people getting on the trains were not paying. As of 2024, the latest numbers I got yesterday from Sound Transit, it's still only 61% of people getting on light rail trains are paying. So that's a pretty sizable number of people that are not paying. And how do we... You would think the simplest thing an agency would be able to do is to get people to pay for their service, because when it comes to transit, because we've all been to New York, we've all been to DC, we've all been to Chicago, we've all ridden BART in some way, shape, or form, where you pay and you get on.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
But there isn't that here. That's not how we do it here.
Right.
What was their motivation originally for not putting in turnstiles? When they look at all, because I imagine that before they started their train system here, they also looked at other train systems and said, hey, what works and what doesn't work?
Well, one of the reasons is the way our system is set up.
Logistically.
New York is underground, right? Chicago is elevated, right? That's why it's called the L.
Yeah.
Here, a lot of our stations they chose to put at grade, right? Like at street level.
Sure.
So if you think about driving up along MLK, where all those stations are right there along the street, if you put turnstiles or fare gates or built something up around them, people who wanted to evade or avoid paying would be walking across the tracks or walking across lanes of traffic. So it didn't make sense for them to put in turnstiles at those places.
It would have been a design and logistical big time expense.
And a safety issue potentially, and something, lawsuits.
Oh, come on. They don't care about expense.
Potentially. Well, back then, things are a little different. Well, Sound Transit does have its own history. We're not going to forget.
It would have been more expensive
to build a system. And maybe you would have had bigger infrastructure. Maybe more businesses or homes would have lost them along the right of way.
I much more buy the idea that they're trying to protect people on the tracks than the idea that they're trying to save money. They don't give two rat's behinds about saving money. But
and the other thing is, and I asked Sound Transit, I can't remember who it was I asked at the time, who was on the board, or if it was the CEO. I think it was at the CEO at the time, like 15 years ago. I was like, why not? Why not put in turnstiles? And they said, that's not what Seattle does. Seattle isn't a turnstile city. I'm like, what does that mean? I don't even know what that. I still don't even know what that means.
Well, they don't city of honor. We're city of honor.
Either that, or he's like, we don't need turnstiles.
We're decent people.
So that's kind of that was their answer. Was that's not the Seattle way. I was like, well, okay.
Do they think they're idiots? They're just stupid people?
No, maybe you thought that was like, people would do the right thing. You'd think we would do the right thing. I don't know, but yeah, so Seattle is not a turnstile city, is what I was told, and that's still not the case. But to Sound Transit's credit, looking at these numbers, the board is now considering whether to launch a pilot project to put turnstiles or fare gates at 5 of the busiest stations and see what happens. See if it's cost effective, see if people actually pay, find out. And so they're looking at a way to do it, because if they're not going to get to Ballard or get to West Seattle or do things, if they're looking at cutting everything else, or Tacoma, they're looking at cutting everything, I think they should be looking at maybe finding a way to beef up that 61% number. So to their credit, they're looking at it. We don't know how much it would cost. We're not sure. Hopefully by June we will have a decision as to whether or not they're going to go forward with this. But it's my belief that you should pay for your ride. I think whether I live in Snohomish County and I haven't gotten anything out of Sound Transit really through the 25 years that I've lived here and paid for it. But when I get on the train, I pay, or I try to. There's several times I haven't.
I went straight up to the thing, and I said, first I was surprised because I hadn't ridden it before, and I rode it with my son, and I'm looking around. I'm like, well, we got to get our ticket before we go through the gate, son. And we're looking around. There's no gate. There's just people walking on. And so I go over to the machine, and I'm standing in line with a couple other people. This is on a Seahawks game day, so there's a lot of people using it. Probably a lot of people who normally don't use it, which is why they were stupid enough to pay, like I was. So we all got in line, we paid our tickets, and then we walked up onto the train. Spike, you probably had a similar experience.
Absolutely.
When you pay for your ticket?
Yeah. The one time I did pay for my ticket. No, the one time I didn't pay for my ticket. Anyway.
Yeah, there's no... I'm kidding. We know about that on the show. Spike got a citation.
I got one of those ambassadors who walked up checking everybody on the train, show me your Orca card. I didn't have my Orca card with me. I had an Orca card at home. I got a free one from the city.
Sure.
That's why I was doing last summer is how many times can I ride?
Yeah.
I just forgot to bring it, showed them my ID, they wrote me a ticket. But the problem was, even then, the ticket was the first of my five warnings.
Five warnings.
Before I have to pay any kind of a fee.
And they really don't, the fair ambassadors really don't have the teeth that the old King County Fair officers did to throw people off the train if they
I was
weren't.
expecting at that point to be ushered off the train in the U district.
And you think enforcement has got to be, I think, come with this in some way, shape, or form, as well as turnstiles if that's where they decide to go.
What's the rate at which they expect to cover their budget from fares?
This is another really interesting number.
That's why I asked you.
Thank you. When Sound Transit originally came together, they put this together. They promised voters that they would get 40% of their overall funding,
from
40% from fares.
Now that's operating costs, right?
Well,
that's not construction.
Yeah, not that, covering whatever it is.
They build it.
Less than half of what it would cost to run that 40%. Business. They said they could get from fares.
And then now, because they can't reach that number and never even have come close, they keep revising that number down.
Yeah.
As it stands today, they promised voters 40%. Right now, they hope to get 17%. The actual number is 12, which is up from 10 just a couple of years ago coming out of the pandemic.
Why does anybody take this thing seriously at all? I mean, I know it's nice to have a nice shiny thing like a train. You were very impressed when it went across the water, which is sweet of you.
I'm glad I didn't have to go for a swim.
Yes. But why does anybody take this seriously? They cannot get, they're basically at like 10% of what they would need to operate the thing on fares. So they've fallen drastically below that number. They can't figure out how to get people to pay to ride the service. They can't fill the trains as they are when nobody's paying to ride the trains.
Except on those game days.
Those game days.
That's it.
I ride past those trains every single day in traffic on my way to work. The reason it's very trafficy right now is because of the Revive I-5 project, but I'm sitting there, so I have time to look out my window and watch as these 4-car light rails ride by, and they're ghost trains. There's nobody on them. And so I don't understand, what's the path forward? Is it just to run ghost trains for the rest of time?
Well, I mean, to be fair, they are full at certain times, not like packed
not
to the rafters.
8 and 9.
But because they're going earlier. Because if you try to go get park at the Linwood Park and Ride,
the folks who
they're full by 7 a.m.
Your parking rides are all full to capacity
by 7.
They're not parking their car there and getting other cars. They're getting on the train.
But later in the day, but it's not like all day, every day they're at 50% or 75. You know, during those 2 hours, maybe from 6 to 7:30 ish. They're pretty well used up the spine. I'm not sure what they're doing right now going to the east side yet.
But they anticipate that to be an even bigger growth.
Yeah, potential. 55,000 boardings a day, they think, going across the 2 line. We'll wait to see.
Which takes up how much percentage of cars off the road?
Oh, none. Well,
okay.
Well, to be honest, when they pitched ST3 and
these
they
were
saw
people who before were taking buses and they've transferred
and now they're taking trains.
Yes.
Like, for instance,
it makes zero difference for traffic.
For a person like me who lives in South Everett, if I were to take transit to work, if it worked for me, I would have taken a train. I would have taken my bus to McCollum Park at the Park and Ride on 128th, and then gotten on my bus at McCollum Park down to downtown. Now they've eliminated that because all the buses just go to the Linwood Transit Center.
Yeah.
They no longer go into downtown. So
All
that
right.
1-trip seat is now a 2-trip seat or 2-seat trip. So it's different. It is
different, and it's 10 times the price. Congratulations.
Yeah.
To Sound Transit. Good job, guys. This is a great story. People should read about it on mynorthwest.com.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. Is Seattle a turnstile town?
Do they have a time frame?
Not yet. No, I mean, they said sometime in the second quarter they will determine whether or not they're going to go
no idea
for it.
how much.
Or what it will cost or whether it'll work or not, but we're going to go for it.
If there's anything we can trust, it's a Sound Transit estimate. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Voted best of Western Washington. Ranked #1 senior living community in America. Aegis Living, Washington's most luxurious assisted living and memory care. Schedule a tour today at aegisliving.com/KIRO and get a special take-home gift. Aegis Living. This must be the place.
Hey there, Dawn Riley with Olympic Hot Tub. Ready to create your home wellness retreat? Whether you love a relaxing session in infrared or traditional steam heat, we have the perfect Tilo sauna waiting for you. Up your wellness game by building your own contrast therapy studio, featuring a new sauna and our amazing Vigor Cold Plunge. Buy both and save up to $5,000. Savings end April 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Rick was experiencing some pain in his knee.
Once I retired and really just golfed constantly, I think it kind of exacerbated.
It was getting to be too much for him.
It got to the point where I just almost couldn't sleep. I wanted to try anything to avoid surgeries.
So instead, he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I talked to him and he said, well, Rick, it's a new knee or we do the stem cell.
Since the procedure, Rick is back doing what he loves to do.
Here I am, golfing and enjoying it.
And now it's not just his knee. Rick has had stem cell treatment for both of his shoulders, his hip, and...
He did my thumbs.
So whether it's a hip like I had or a shoulder, knee, and thumb like Rick, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. He's the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
How was your break?
It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code STATION for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code STATION for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's STATION.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Golden Crest Metals helps investors understand how physical gold and silver can be held inside qualified retirement accounts without pressure or confusion. Our team brings decades of experience in precious metals and retirement planning with a focus on clear education, straightforward pricing, and a process designed to put clients first. Why do investors choose Golden Crest Metals? Experience, transparency, and a client-first approach. Tune into The Gold Show with Kenny Michaels every Saturday at 1 p.m.
Take me out to big trees, take me to see the leaves. Privacy screens and evergreens, you already know they have thousands of trees.
Big Trees for tree sales and transplants. Find Big Trees in Snohomish or BigTreeSupply.com.
Don't wait, insulate. Last year, American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $2 million in insulation rebates from PSE, more than any provider in the state. If your home was built before 1990, you're eligible for recouping up to 95% of insulation replacement costs. Insulate with American Crawl Space and keep your home warm during the winter and cool during the summer.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
welcome back to the show. If you have kids in the car, or you just dislike really weird, awful allegations and stories.
Maybe you just had lunch and you would like to keep it.
Maybe you just had lunch. This is a weird story. We were talking about this. Somebody mentioned this yesterday, just during commercial break. We were talking about some folks here in the newsroom, and then I saw another update on this. This is the whole Ruby Rose, Katy Perry back and forth.
The allegation made by Australian actor Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose.
About an incident, was it 15?
I think it was 15 years ago, yeah.
Okay.
A fair bit of time ago. And so it's now being investigated by police in Australia. Ruby Rose has now been asked, by investigators, please do not be speaking about this now. We need to investigate. But she started posting on, is Threads a Facebook thing?
Yes.
It's a meta product. It's connected to Instagram.
Okay. So she starts
it's their
posting
version
about
of
this.
X or Blue Sky.
Okay,
Threads.
gotcha. Yeah. She starts posting about this alleged incident that happened 20 years ago.
Yeah,
actually.
was this 20? Okay.
Yeah.
And Threads because she was embarrassed and didn't want a lot of people to see it. Is that why it was on Threads?
Yeah, who uses Threads anyway?
Right?
Well,
I guess.
People who used to be big actresses. So this apparently happened at a nightclub that's now not even operating anymore. And they have now talked, kudos to People magazine who have been really on top of this story. But they tracked down the former manager of this defunct nightclub and asked him, what the night in
found him at his cat grooming store.
I don't know where he was doing. How do you find this guy? And they tracked him down and said, what happened? He goes, I don't know what happened. All I know is that Ruby Rose, who was an actress on, people may know her from Orange is the New Black. She was on a couple other things.
Yeah, she had a moment or two.
She was Batgirl for a hot minute.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Batwoman. My mistake. On the CW.
And that woman that show got canceled.
I think
quick.
that got
Super
canceled.
canceled with the quickness.
Yeah. And Katy Perry, she is still a singer, right? She's still.
Oh yeah.
Does she still do stuff?
Well, she does. She does of judging now. She's is it American Idol?
Okay.
She's a judge on or had been. That's the last
she
iteration.
She had her big moment probably 15 years ago.
She was the biggest singer on the planet. I saw her. At the
Justin Trudeau now.
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
After being married to
Orlando Bloom.
Bloom.
Yeah, from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Russell Brand.
Russell Brand before that, when she was the biggest thing on the planet.
You have your choice between Orlando Bloom, who is Legolas. You can be married to Legolas or Justin Trudeau. Come on. You got to go Legolas. Right?
You didn't give me the option of Russell Brand.
What was or Russell Brand? Anyway,
Albus Snow.
Turns out she's pro Lego, not Lego-less.
Yes.
Boom. Oh, dad jokes.
That's
if you're keeping score at home.
Thank you for the contributions,
that's,
Mike.
Dad joke 0.
All right, so
Dad
real
jokes
quickly,
1.
because we're going to run out of time here. What alleged is to have happened, we can't even fully talk about what happened.
Please don't.
It's not radio friendly.
No,
Ruby Rose says that she was basically drinking a lot, fell asleep in this private area called this is not a joke, in this VIP area of the club called the Genie Bottle.
Okay.
They're in the Genie Bottle.
Which is around circular couched area.
I guess.
If description.
But the manager says you really couldn't see what was happening in there because it was like a private
VIPs
area.
play for privacy, yeah.
So Katy Perry, allegedly, according to Ruby Rose, sexually assaults her by rubbing herself onto Ruby Rose's face. All of it, that's as far as we can describe. And then Ruby Rose wakes up and throws up, according to her.
According to her.
They came to the club together, and according to the story that I saw, they also left together, like in a group. And now Ruby Rose is out saying hey, I want this investigated by police officially.
And she's graphic and insulting in the description. I mean, graphic and insulting.
Well, I would say if it happened,
she's not. Well, yeah. I mean,
if it happened, then the description.
She's not clinical in her description, though, right?
I don't believe so.
Right.
No.
She went.
You could argue that it feels inflammatory.
And yeah. She made a point to bring up the unpleasant memories.
Katy Perry's team has said this is categorically false. This did not happen. They said this person has made other allegations about other people in the past that have not proven out, which they have a fair claim on to say.
Yeah.
The whole thing is crazy. But the reason that I wanted to talk about it is we got invited to a wedding just 3 days ago.
Oh.
And we get this fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, wedding season is nearly upon us. So my wife, as part of this invite, and it's for, it's one of these weddings where they don't want kids to come.
Sure.
And so they said, what songs get you up and dancing? This is what my wife told me last night. And she tells me last night we get all the kids to bed and she goes, hey, I feel that she's worried about this. And she said that she had sent back to their little questionnaire, what songs get you up and dancing at a wedding? And she had written in 2 days prior, she wrote in Katy Perry because when my wife and I got married 15 years ago, Katy Perry was one of the biggest things in the world. She looked back fondly at our wedding, remembered us dancing, was like, oh, that's fun. But now she's worried. She goes, yeah, but I sent this in 2 days ago, and then the story just broke. They're going to think I'm a weirdo because I put Katy Perry. I'm like,
what song?
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, if any of the allegations
Baby,
are
You're
true,
a Fireworks should be okay.
I guess.
Right?
Yeah, maybe Kissed a Girl, leave
Kissed
that one
Girl
alone.
might be off the list. Maybe Hot and Cold might be off the list.
Might be bad.
Sure.
I was like, can you amend it? And she's like, I don't think so.
You know what? We have such a short attention span. By the time the wedding gets here,
it'll be gone.
Nobody's going to care.
I think you're right. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
The John Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly it's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed, the 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we understand improving your home is an investment in your family, and we're here to help make it easier. With our flexible financing, keeping your family safe, comfortable, and dry has never been more affordable. For more than 20 years, Guardian has earned the trust of thousands of homeowners across the Pacific Northwest with a reputation for quality that lasts. So why wait? Start guarding your home today. Call or visit guardianroofing.com.
The Mariners' 50th season is underway, and it's not too late to come on board as a season ticket member. Lock in your Mariners Flex plan and choose your games, seats, and number of tickets as you go all year long. 6 seats in the bleachers one night and 2 right behind the Mariners dugout the next. It's all up to you. Plus, you still get all the perks of being a member, like guaranteed postseason access and discounts of 10% or more on tickets with no fees. Join the team today at mariners.com/flex.
Major financial decisions deserve education, not pressure. Madrona Financial and CPAs host live seminars and online webinars throughout the year to help you make informed, confident choices. Their tax return treasure hunt discusses how to uncover planning opportunities potentially hidden inside your own tax return. Growing her wealth addresses the financial transitions many women face and how to prepare for them thoughtfully and confidently. Beyond the Numbers introduces a framework for building a comprehensive financial plan while helping connect your finances to your goals, priorities, and the life you want to design. And Landlord Exit Strategies takes a clear look at whether holding, selling, or restructuring your rental properties makes sense long term. You can attend in person or join online from home. To see the full schedule, visit madronafinancial.com/events or call 833-673-7373. Madrona Financial and CPAs, where informed planning starts.
Get down with Casey and the Sunshine Band when they take the stage at Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Sunday, May 17th at 8 p.m. The iconic 70s group has toured around the world, and now they're bringing their blend of funk, disco, and R&B to Muckleshoot Casino Resort on May 17th. Get tickets now at muckleshootcasino.com.
Your new home for Tesla, EV, and hybrid maintenance is A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue with dealer-level diagnostics, electrical, mechanical, and suspension repairs. Find A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue online at myevpros.com or 425-96-EV-FIX.
One 877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by DEA Take Back Day.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. President Trump says there's been progress toward ending almost 7 weeks of fighting with Iran.
The president depicts the talks in a positive light.
I think we have a very successful negotiation going on right now. And I think it'll be, if it happens, it'll be announced fairly soon.
Specifically, he says Iran has agreed to this key point.
They will not have nuclear weapons.
In addition, Trump says Iran has agreed to hand over its enriched uranium.
They've agreed to give us back the nuclear dust that's way underground because of the attack we made with the B-2 bombers.
But the president also said if there is no deal, fighting will resume. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
And the president says Israel and Lebanon have agreed to a ceasefire, and the Iran-backed militants have agreed to it as well, which the group disputes. More from CBS's Natalie Brand at the White House.
This announcement by the president certainly builds on the diplomacy that started earlier this week when diplomats from Israel and Lebanon gathered here in Washington, D.C. with Secretary of State Marco Rubio to begin talking about this. But what's important to note is that Hezbollah is not at the table.
With the Speaker of the House casting a rare vote, Republicans have defeated an attempt by Democrats to force an end to the conflict with Iran. The vote was as close as can be.
The yeas are 213. The nays are 214.
Democrats had hoped a few Republicans would join their effort, but only one did. A new study has found that deaths among detainees held by ICE hit a 22-year high last year. 272 people died in ICE custody. Harvard Medical School's Dr. Catherine Peeler blames an exodus of medical staff.
Many public health people who were serving in the public health service actually left because there was such moral distress at the poor care they were providing in ICE detention. So I think there's probably not enough staffing.
Now to a weather forecast that many people in the upper Midwest do not want to hear.
Seemingly relentless rain has caused record flooding across much of the upper Midwest. These people marveled at the level of the rain-swollen Wolf River in New London, Wisconsin.
I'm kind of shocked because I'm not used to it being this high.
I don't think in my lifetime, and I'm going to be 63 years old pretty soon, I don't think I've ever seen this type of flooding in this area.
More heavy rain is expected through the rest of the week across most of Wisconsin and Michigan. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
On Wall Street, stocks moved deeper into the green late this afternoon after a middling day most of the day. The Dow and S&P 500 both closed up about 0.25%. NASDAQ ended the day up 0.33%. This is CBS News.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com.
Security patrols at a local beach. More on that coming up. But first, a quick check on your KIRO News Radio traffic brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. North 5 through Seattle, we've still got a thick backup before the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. And again, as you approach that Ship Canal Bridge, 20 minutes gets you through downtown. South 5, just minor crowding between the U District and downtown. 20 minutes from Linwood into Seattle. South 405, volumes are picking up as you head through Factoria. Nothing real heavy here. And North 405 slows just a tad through the Renton S-curves. With the high gas prices, now's the time to buy a hybrid or all-electric at Subaru of Puyallup. Great selection and pricing are at your stress-free dealership, SubaruofPuyallup.com.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Nate Connors. A note from Pierce County to Sound Transit. Don't cut costs on our expense. KIRO Radio's John Repp looks at how local communities are scrambling to keep transit projects on track in light of looming cutbacks.
Earlier this week, Everett community members urged Sound Transit to keep the ST3 commitment to bring light rail to town by 2036. Today, Pierce County Council members are saying the same thing in a note to Sound Transit, saying that continuing the light rail infrastructure to the Tacoma Dome is a critical piece of strategic regional planning. Meanwhile, Sound Transit is facing a funding shortfall of $34 billion. It's weighing cuts and project delays and should have a decision in May or June. John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle is rolling out overnight security patrols at Golden Gardens Park ahead of this summer. City officials say private security officers and park rangers will patrol into the early morning hours starting May 1st and running through September. The move comes after years of complaints about late-night parties, noise, trash, and safety concerns at the popular beach. Park officials say the goal is to deter after-hours activity while keeping the park safe and welcoming this summer. Another sign the summer is fast approaching, tickets for Seafair just went on sale this morning. That includes reserved seating for the Torchlight Parade, hydro races, and the air show. Seafair is holding a 77-hour sale today through Sunday to celebrate its 77th year. Well, there's a new AEW World Champion. Darby Allin beat MJF on last night's Dynamite to capture the title. Allin grew up in Washington and went to Tahoma High. He told Seattle's Morning News he put everything into this.
If anybody sees the craziness I do outside the ring, I still skate full time. I still jump off my roof, climb mountains, just do everything. I was part of Nitro Circus as well, doing crazy flips on tricycles, but yeah, it never ends with me, but that's what keeps me ready to go at all times.
He won the title at Angel of the Winds Arena in Everett, just minutes away from where he started his career. And now your KIRO News Radio weather, 56 and mostly sunny this afternoon. Mostly sunny, really, right in through the weekend with highs reaching the mid-60s. Still getting cold tonight with lows right around 40. Sunny and 50 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. Lots of great stuff to get to. This is the theme of this hour is guests. We have great guests this hour. Starting off, we got Jason Rantz from Seattle Red 770. Jason Rantz Show joins us. Jason, welcome to the show.
Hello.
And then at 1:30, we got Susan Delben, Representative Susan Delben, who just put out a
hang out for that.
Just put out
or BFF.
Yeah, I bet. Just put out a video recently talking about just the painfully high gas prices in Washington because of what's happening in Iran.
Because of the Middle Eastern war, yeah.
So
one of several videos she put out on that very topic over the course of the last several years, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're going to ask her about the Iran stuff, and we'll talk about that at 1:30. Jason joins us now because you have a story that I was kind of shocked by. And this is, people can check this out over at seattlered.com. Mm-hmm. What's happening at a local school where somebody was showing nude photographs to children? Is that what happened?
Yeah, so it happened at Glacier Peak High School out in Snohomish. I got word that an email had gone out from the principal explaining that in one of the classrooms, a teacher, I guess, inadvertently showed a number of photos of women's bare breasts during a PowerPoint presentation that was not biology.
This was not a bare breast PowerPoint presentation?
It appears it was wasn't anatomy class.
Else. No.
But it was brief, but you could clearly see it. I have a screenshot that was shared with me that I showed both of you. It's clear as day what's there.
It would have been very clear to students.
Yes, and clearly because they took a photo of it and spread like wildfire. And
so to illustrate for the audience, this teacher was, I'm not sure what class it was.
They won't tell us. I heard, but I couldn't confirm it, so I'm not going to put it out there. I don't want to shame a teacher.
Was it anatomy?
It was not anatomy.
Wasn't geography?
This was not intended to be.
Was it mountain ranges? Mm-hmm. Right? Because sometimes mountain ranges in an afternoon sunset can have a pink glow.
Yeah, it's true. Not nipples, but yeah.
True. It's true.
Fair point.
Let me ask you this question.
Well, the teacher was showing a picture from his personal computer.
Well, is a man a teacher? Do we know?
I don't know if it's a male teacher. I've been told that it is a male teacher from some parents.
But we're all inclusive, and it could have been some. Who knows where they find love? A teacher was from their computer.
There is a less than 1% chance that this was a female.
Well, you know me, I'm pronoun savvy. From their computer.
Okay.
And the picture being shared.
This is a full-on guarantee a man, allegedly.
Picture was being shared on the screen in the classroom.
Yes.
And in the periphery of the shot that was being shared, are a series of other photos that are on this computer.
Like preview photos.
Preview slideshows. Yeah. If you're making a PowerPoint presentation. A couple of PowerPoints. If you look at the other photos, boom, boom, we're here all week.
Oh, there you go.
So it's not like they got a wall full of Tetons, right? They got in the periphery.
They got their eyeful.
There was
eyeful.
A peak is way too much in a classroom. Is your point?
It's multiple. This is multiple peaks.
At least 4 that I saw. There was one that kind of looked like a backside, but it was blurry.
I can't do the math on that. I don't know how many different people that would be featuring, but what was the
too many
in the picture? What is the slide? So what are they supposed in the slide on the screen? I didn't.
It's part of some lesson. I don't know.
I gotta be
what
honest.
the slide
I wasn't
is.
really noticing the slide.
You didn't
like all the students.
It was a couple of golfers. Seriously,
the photo was a couple of golfers. In the back, there's some text that says something along the lines of like. Name a celebrity plus a verb plus an object or something.
So maybe conjugating for translation purposes.
Yeah. So again, not entirely sure. The school won't specifically tell us those details other than we are aware of that. We're investigating. Don't know if the teacher is still in the classroom or in the school.
Is this a high school?
It is a high school.
This is a high school. Okay. Well, at least it's a high school and not an elementary school if this happened.
And I don't know.
It should be happening in any school.
I suspect that the teacher was using his personal laptop. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing that is a mistake number one. Mm-hmm. Don't do that. Separate the two out. Have your porn computer at home and have your non-porn computer in the office.
That's
what I do.
Here's a question for you.
We kid. Come on. We love Glacier Peak.
I'm kidding. My porn computer's in my office.
Here's a question for you guys. This guy showed, I assume it's a guy. That's my suspicion. Yeah, okay. I can't verify that. This teacher showed topless women to kids. What happens to this teacher? Does that teacher get fired? Should they get fired?
This one to me is a little kind of I'm torn. I don't know if this teacher has a history of anything. So if there's zero history at all,
has he ever licked a foot, for example?
Yeah, it is fair to say.
Spike's making that reference because that was another story recently. It was you had the
story. Yeah. You know me. I try to keep an open mind.
We should note that this is accidental, right? That there's no reason to believe that this was done intentionally.
It seems accidental.
I'm saying it seems accidental. If this was truly an accident and there might be some detail, like I don't know if I would fire the person at this point. Would I pull them from the classroom for a bit? Yes, I would.
Well, then his judgment is called into question.
Yeah,
even if accidental. Your point about keeping your treasures separate from work and play.
Yeah.
Right? I'm trying to clean this up as best I can for the kids in the car.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe
this was the highlight of some
Katy
16-year-old kid's day when it happened.
When I was in
it's true.
When I was in 8th grade, my school did an extracurricular field trip. It wasn't something you had to do. It wasn't like compulsory attendance.
Sure.
But they said, hey, if anybody wants, because at the time, Titanic was very popular in the movie theaters. So I went to go see Titanic with my school when I was in 7th or 8th grade, whatever year it came out.
Uh-oh. Was it a drawing class?
It was not a drawing class. Okay. It was a history class that went to see it because it was like, hey, this is a big historical event.
Sure, yeah.
And quite an historical event for me because I saw something on screen that I had not seen before. If you guys have seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
The iceberg dead ahead. Yeah.
Yes.
Some students at Glacier Peak High School saw it.
Some students at Glacier Peak are having that same experience. It's ironic, the school title.
So you went on a school field trip to Titanic, and the teacher, were you guys unaware that there was the new drawing
I don't know
scene?
if
it's not an R-rated film. I think it's
a PG-13.
Right, well, is it 13 even?
It's PG-13. Okay. Yeah, and it's like as far as it's as tasteful as you can get. I guess it's not like it doesn't feel
Yeah.
But then there is a follow-up scene in the car that I definitely
The handprint.
I remember
thing.
that.
Yeah.
But again, you're not seeing a ton of stuff. You're just seeing the
Well, that was a class. That was a class in humidity, and
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a glass cleaning class.
Sure. Yeah.
And this, what are the parents asking? Like, how did you get the story? Did a parent send it to you?
A kid who goes there sent it to me. The kid got the photo or took the photo. I'm not entirely sure, but the parent sent this over. Like, I'm not sure if you saw this, but there are parents who are asking some questions and we're not getting any answers.
The thing is, this to me would be in the same. This is less of a crime than. I mean, it's not a crime, but this is less of a problem than sometimes we see stories about teachers who have extracurricular like side jobs posing pictures of themselves on OnlyFans or something like that.
Yeah.
And when those are discovered, a lot of times those teachers end up in lawsuits with the school district, or parents want those teachers fired or whatever, which I get, because it does create quite a distraction in class, especially if those pictures then make their way out to the student population. It's very tough to concentrate on whatever your teacher's doing.
It was a motivating factor in Varsity Blues, if you'll recall.
I do recall that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
it helped those students.
Well, the prevalence.
They were never more punctual for class.
The prevalence of these, especially with regard to teachers' extracurricular activities, with regard to OnlyFans, that's becoming so much more prevalent than it was a decade ago.
That's a shame.
Used to be you had to be a professional to be in the business, if I can make that assumption.
I don't know if I'd say it's prevalent with teachers.
Well, no, I didn't mean that. I guess my point was
we've seen more stories.
Yeah, amateurs have the ability to monetize their assets, if you will. And
glacier peaks.
Exactly. Well, the teacher's judgment comes into play
big time.
That's the problem here. Whether it was an accident or not, whether it's he wasn't intentionally showing these kids this inappropriate image on the screen. But do you factor in what kids today see?
I do.
20 years ago,
honestly, I do. In the case of the photos that we saw, and it was brief. It wasn't sex. It wasn't that graphic.
Right.
That would be probably a little bit
as best you can what they were.
They're just bare breasts. That's it. They're just breasts.
It looks like a thumbnail image. I mean, it's just like a very simple little square.
Again, I don't think the teacher should get off scot-free, by no means. I think there needs to be punishment, and I do think it needs to be significant. But based on the details we have now, I would say I would stop short of termination. However, if there are other details that's happened before, a little bit different.
Yeah, circumstances and context. Yeah.
I agree with you. I don't think of firing straight away. I do think there is. What's that classroom where they send teachers that are bad and they don't want to, because they have
padded room or whatever that thing
where they
is.
send the teachers, the bad ones,
the mentally ill ones.
Well, where the teachers who are on paid disciplinary leave, they all sit in a room and read for 8 hours a day.
Well, I don't want them there. Let's put them to work. Let's have them do some janitorial work or something.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, cut the grass, do something. But get him out of the classroom for a while. I fully agree with that.
So what's more beneficial to the teacher and the student body, to just have him removed for a month, a week, 3 days, or have him speak in front of a full assembly of the school to his embarrassment and poor judgment?
And
don't do a PowerPoint presentation.
I was going to don't jump ahead.
You know
it's
what?
It's like working with Dean Martin.
That's really
I thought
interesting.
you were setting me up.
That's really interesting, actually.
If they're there, take them, brother.
This
take
is a
them.
good idea.
Right?
He
I'm
should
serious.
have to. Again, we're assuming it's a he.
No, he should. Mea culpa. Hey,
He
you know
should
what,
have
kid?
to stand in front of the high school and he should have to give a speech about the dangers of porn addiction. I don't know if he's addicted to it, but if he's got porn on his school computer, it's probably elsewhere.
Right.
And he should give on the dangers of what this thing can do and manipulate, especially these young minds, these young, malleable minds that are heading down a road. That's the dangers with, phones that I'm always talking about on the show. It's like you're handing these kids everything in the world, all the dangers in the world, and now in their pocket, and they have access to all these horrible things. They're going to get hacked by
Encyclopedia Pornographica at everybody's phone.
Yeah.
Everything.
The worst things ever invented in humanity is on your phone.
There's a good message here of if you're interested in seeing nude breasts, this is what happens to you. You have to stand in front of an entire auditorium and talk about it.
Yes. I think it's a good lesson. You guys are laughing, but I do think he should.
I brought it up. I think the guy should get up there and own it and apologize for the error, the poor judgment, for not being careful enough and taking his responsibility of teaching and being an actor with students and young impressionable people. I need to take that more seriously and show better diligence.
Don't you think he should also swear off
porn?
porn?
Look for miracles here.
And he should tell the parents.
We don't know it was porn.
What else would it be?
Maybe he was going to have an implant or two. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't a he. Maybe they were looking at maybe it was a shopping thing.
It was a slide of golf, and then below is a bunch of slides of women's breasts. I don't think it's a lady. 4.
Hey, man.
And possibly a backside.
And possibly a backside. Come on, Spike. Come on.
We know first letter in LGBTQ.
Is ladies? What?
No, it's not.
Continue.
Maybe it was a female teacher who likes other females.
Who's also super interested in golf during Masters Week.
Yes.
Who's showing pictures to kids.
A lesbian interested in golf, you're suggesting, is somehow unheard of.
I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying. And
you
maybe,
guys are looking at me like I'm crazy when the
maybe the lesbian golf fan teacher was thinking about upgrading her body image.
Why does it have to be a lesbian?
Thank you, Jason. Put him on the hot seat.
How dare you, sir?
How dare
Why can't it be a cisgendered heterosexual woman? I'm not. You're suggesting that the only way someone could do this is if they're a lesbian.
I had no problem with her being a lesbian. That's not what I said.
I'm sensing some tension.
What if it's a moderately attractive female teacher who's not a lesbian,
right?
Who's just thinking about making a change? And so she had these photos.
That'd be great.
And she's also interested in golf.
Sure. Then she should still speak about how she'd be a little more careful.
She should still talk about the dangers of
being a little more careful about
downloading photos on your computer.
And what you share with the groom.
Let me ask you guys this question real fast.
Oh, God.
Between this teacher, who we don't know if it's a male or female, or possibly a lesbian golf enthusiast, or the guy who was filmed licking one of his players' feet, who should be fired? Feels like an easy question. Footlicker? We all saying footlicker?
Easy.
You just wanted to find a way to bring that story back.
I want to find a way to bring it back up.
And that was out of Auburn, Riverside.
Was he ever fired? Do we know?
He wasn't fired from the school. He was removed as coach.
And you said he shouldn't be fired.
I said I wanted to know more about the story. I didn't have enough context.
Do you think he should be fired, Jason?
Maybe the footlicking wasn't reward, but penalty. You know, maybe
I've seen the video.
Maybe his team got smoked in the finals. If you guys lose this, I'll lick your foot. I'll lick your kicking foot.
I think this was before a game.
This is another segment that Spike and I are working on, where I make him look dead in my eye.
Look deep into my eyes.
Larry David, I want to look into your soul. Look me dead in the eye right now. If you had a child in sports and you found out that their coach, also a teacher, licked a foot, you want them fired?
I'd wish him a speedy and complete recovery.
There you go.
That's what I'd wish him.
Exactly.
It's my kid's foot.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. Keep the cleat on. That's not going to be a problem.
Boom.
Yeah.
Right in the kisser. All right, Jason Rance.
That's for you, Dave.
Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Stories at SeattleRed.com.
SeattleRed.com. Go check it out. Glacier Peak High School students accidentally showed nude images during a classroom.
And you're not going to hang around
presentation.
for Representative Delben. Okay.
Okay, so Representative Susan Delben will be on with us next. Let me play this cut of her. She was talking about this recently. She's concerned about how much you guys are paying at the pump, which, man, when you think, how much has gas prices gone up since the whole Iran war started? Is it like $1?
It's over $1 a gallon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. Starting to hurt. I think most people are feeling this. This is what she had to say about it.
The average price of gasoline across Washington state is $5.40 a gallon. That's $1 more than it was before this reckless war started in Iran. And even in Western Washington, it's even more, hurting families, making it harder when people are already struggling with high prices, all because of this reckless war. It has to end.
Yeah, I think the average price of fuel in our state right now, the average price is $5.39, which means in places like Seattle,
you can see it $6 a gallon.
You can see it at $6. Yeah. What's the highest you've paid so far?
I tend to be I'm a club member, and I tend to make the trip over to Costco,
yeah,
and
me too.
I've paid $5.40. I've paid $5.30.
Even at Costco, it's like $5.40 something.
Yeah. Well, one of our cars has a newer, nicer car.
Yeah.
And the missus insists that I put premium gas in it, so I'm paying $35.
Sure. Well, some
more.
engines require.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is a turbo engine.
Premium right now. The average premium price in Washington is $5.88, and the average. Think about this: diesel prices. The average diesel price in Washington State is $6.92 a gallon.
Yeah.
I was talking with a friend of mine last night. At football, actually, another dad who was there, and he has an excavator company. He does excavation on building sites and things like that.
Okay.
So they're moving a lot of dirt. So they use some of these big machines, big excavators, big trucks.
Yeah.
Carrying yards and yards and yards of dirt in these dump trucks, and then also the excavators are just massive.
Sure.
And they are just guzzling fuel all day. And the amount of increase in fuel spending that he's telling me about is insane. I'm talking like 60 grand in extra fuel costs.
Now, I know that Washington farmers have an exemption from the CCA.
Well,
farmers do, but does do construction work? I wonder if
that is a great question.
Yeah, I wonder maybe I know that the Representative Delben wants to talk about federal issues and not really so much our state CCA tax and those type of things.
Sure.
But I know the farmers in the state of Washington are protected from the CCA. She might ask. Maybe she knows.
She probably knows. Yeah. But anyway, we're going to talk with her next. It's going to be very good. So stick around. She'll be live with us. You can watch on video. If you guys are not watching already on video, you should on you can get the KIRO Radio app. You can go to YouTube, KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Jake and Spike Show is going to be live there, and we'll see you there. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Integrity Roofing and Construction is your trusted local roofing team. They'll keep your home leak-free and protected from the Northwest weather. Visit integrityrc.com to schedule a free roof assessment or a video inspection today. They've got years of experience and incredible teams that do amazing work. I can tell you firsthand, they took better care of my home than I ever took. You can look at their design departments. They do complete restorations, repairs, whatever it takes. IntegrityRC.com is the website. Look at the reviews. Give them a call at 206-202-ROOF. That's 206-202-ROOF and schedule today.
You can count on trusted local news and information from the Seattle Times, one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country, right here in the Pacific Northwest. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
Take me out to big trees, take me to see the leaves. Privacy screens and evergreens, you already know they have thousands of trees.
Big Trees for tree sales and transplants. Find Big Trees in Snohomish or BigTreeSupply.com.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof inspected. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we'll help it last as long as possible. Our trained and licensed crew will evaluate your roof, repairing when we can, and offering replacement options only when necessary. Plus, every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Breaking news for your home. Way Day. Wayfair's big sale is almost here, and you can score the best deals in home. Like up to 80% off everything home. Yes, you heard that right. 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Way Day long. We're talking outdoor furniture and essentials, rugs, and more. All at Wayfair, and all up to 80% off during Way Day. Shop Wayfair's Way Day from April 25th through 27th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about baseball. It's game day. The stadium roof is open. Our club's putting up a fight. They're cold brews in hand. But outside, the police are getting ready to spot fans trying to steal their home base. Maybe the night threw you a curveball. An officer made an error. Or perhaps the bases weren't the only thing loaded. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know it's not 3 strikes, it's 1 strike. And you're facing the Grand Slammer. 1-800-DUI-AWAY is here to help, even if we have to go into overtime. So call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to set up your free private consultation. When you're on defense, it's full count, bottom of the 9th. You want your closing pitcher on the mound. 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. President Trump today announced a 10-day ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon set to begin next hour. CBS's Linda Kenyon reports from the White House.
President Trump says he spoke by phone with the leaders of Lebanon and Israel about a 10-day truce.
Had a great talk with both of them today. They're going to be having a ceasefire, and that'll include Hezbollah.
Iranian-backed Hezbollah militants have been part of the fight with Israel, even as negotiators try to end the war between the U.S. and Iran. The president also says he expects a White House meeting in the next week or so between Lebanon and Israel that will seal the deal. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Also today, the defense secretary renewed threats to target Iran's power and energy infrastructure if no peace deal is reached. Pakistan says it does expect to host another round of U.S.-Iran talks. Washington Representative Susan Delben questioning Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr. over a pilot program that uses AI to evaluate Medicare claims. Delben says it is actively hurting patients by denying them legitimate care. Told RFK she sent a letter outlining the issue.
I still have not gotten a response. That was last August. Can you publicly commit to responding to that letter and addressing the concerns of this harmful model?
Yeah, absolutely we will. And I apologize for not getting back to you sooner.
Delben wants to halt that program, which is active in 6 states, including Washington. The representative does join Jake and Spike next. Artemis 2 crew today talked about their historic round-trip flight around the moon. Astronaut Victor Glover talked about how it felt during re-entry.
I've never been base jumping, I've never been skydiving, but if you dove off a skyscraper backwards, that's what it felt like for 5 seconds. And then the pilots in the mains came out, and it was glorious.
The crew returned to Earth last Friday, splashing down off the California coast. They are still undergoing monitoring at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston. Closing bell, both the S&P 500 and NASDAQ closed at record highs today. The S&P gained 18 points, closing above 7,000. NASDAQ up 87, and the Dow added 115, about 0.25%. Now to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, Aaron, this one's brought to us by Carpet Liquidators. In Tukwila, we've got a new crash in North 5, just past 405 in the right center lane. Looks like they're getting ready to push this out of your way. Another crash heading into Seattle, South 5, just before Mercer. It's in your right lane. You're backed up to the south end of the Ship Canal Bridge. North 5 still hasn't moved much in the past hour. It's thick, approaching the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown, and again about Lakeview Boulevard up across the Ship Canal. 20 to 25 minutes now to get through downtown Seattle. South 405 volumes continue to pick up through Factoria. Hood Canal Bridge just went up for maintenance work. Now, this could last anywhere from 15 minutes up to an hour, and really outside of this, we're looking good across the map. Get your entire home installed for just $99 at Carpet Liquidators. From carpet to flooring, Carpet Liquidators has got you covered. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
We are drying out after some wild weather yesterday. Mostly sunny skies this afternoon. Highs in the mid-50s. Right now, 50 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. Very, very happy to welcome a guest onto the show right now. Everybody's talking about what's happening in Iran. Locally here, people are, man, are they feeling at the gas tank or the gas line? What is it? Gas? What can it come up with? Gas pump.
Gas pump. Pain at the pumps.
A pain at the pump. It's gone up quite a bit since the Iran war started. And Representative Susan Delben, who I think might be my representative. Are you Snohomish County? Is that right?
I have a good chunk of Snohomish County. Where do you live?
Up in Snohomish.
Well, Snohomish, the city, is definitely my district.
Well, thank you for coming on and talking with me.
You're a member of the first. This is your representative.
Yeah,
this is a constituent.
I'm a constituent, and I got questions.
There you go. This is what makes America great.
Isn't this the best?
The fact that we can have open dialogue with those elected to represent us in Congress.
Thank you so much for joining the show. You had a post that you put out just recently that we just played the audio of just a few minutes ago, so we don't need to redo it. But you were standing in front of a gas sign, and it was showing just the fuel prices have just gone through the roof. And I was, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And when do you think that's going to go down?
Well, I think, families are struggling across the country right now with rising prices across the board. Housing, food, healthcare, childcare, energy costs all going up. And gas prices now, another example of that, because of actions that we've seen taken by the president, most in gas, particularly because of this reckless war that he has started in Iran, a war that has ended up impacting global gas prices and definitely hits our communities. Gas prices are up $1 a gallon, and you add that on with all the other costs of food, housing, healthcare. Families are struggling, and so we just want to highlight the impact it's having.
It's tight. I appreciate you highlighting it. Diesel, too, is a price that not a lot of people, if you're not in the, I have a bunch of friends in trucking and in the construction industry, and I was talking with one last night who was saying that the difference in fuel prices for him now, because he owns a fairly good-sized excavation company that go in and clear big sites for housing developments that are being built.
Yeah.
By the end of this year, he's going to pay an extra $60,000 in fuel costs. And, when you get to the end of the year and you're trying to make the books make sense, sometimes that's all the profit you're looking at in the year. And it's that's a really hard way to look at it. Diesel prices today in Washington State are $6.92 a gallon. Premium, which Spike, you were talking about a little bit ago, gas prices are $5.88.
$5.80, yeah.
Regular, average. Again, these are all averages, which means that some places like Seattle are even higher. But regular gas in Washington State, $5.39 a gallon. Even at Costco, I think I just bought gas 2 days ago.
It's over $5 a gallon
It's
at
like
Costco.
Maybe $5.20 or something at Costco. These prices are just, they really do feel like they're just tearing people apart. And on the positive side, the Iran war can't last forever. In fact, I was just on CNN's homepage, and their top story right now is this 10-day ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon thing that Trump announced, but also they said it looks like there could be an agreement soon with Tehran. So hopefully those prices would come down. And, could you think, that would be welcome news for a lot of people. Don't you agree?
We absolutely need to see prices come down. You talked about your friend and the impact on folks on trucking, on transportation, but absolutely on our farmers. Farmers have been hit hard because of tariffs. Tariffs have raised the cost of fertilizer. In fact, there's also components of fertilizer that come through the Strait of Hormuz as well. And we've seen fertilizer costs spike because of the tariffs on Canada, and then yet again because of the supply chain challenges at the Strait.
Sure.
And then markets close because they've lost opportunities to export. And then you add fuel costs for equipment as for our farmers. It's incredibly hard. And to your point, margins are slim. So when you raise input costs, when you take away markets, you make it harder and harder for our farmers. And we have incredible agricultural community here in Western Washington as well, who's been hit really, really hard.
Let me ask you a question about this. Right now, Washington, so those are the prices. Regular, $5.39, premium, $5.88, diesel, $6.92. And I think all of us are praying this Iran war ends soon and some of these prices can come back down. In Idaho today, gas prices are $4.31 for regular, $4.87 for premium, and diesel's $5.46. It's like $1.50 less per gallon. Why is that?
Well, prices are different depending on where you are across the country. But I can tell you that people are hit hard across the country because of rising costs.
I know
and
across the country, but specifically
across the board,
specifically between Washington and Idaho.
Food, healthcare, how prices have skyrocketed across the board. Tariffs have caused prices to go up on food everywhere across the country. So when you talk about the impact on families and how people are feeling and what they're struggling with right now, gas prices are one example, and we highlighted that. I've spent a lot of time highlighting stories from folks whose healthcare costs have gone up, premiums skyrocketing.
Energy
all
costs,
of these are the
all
day-to-day
energy, right?
costs that across the board, healthcare, food, childcare costs, housing costs, all across our region, but all across the country.
They're all going up. Let me ask you this question too. A lot of things. Do you spend how much time? I got to be honest. I don't know the schedule of a congresswoman. How much time are you spending in Washington versus D.C.? Because your primary residence is Washington State. Is that right?
Yes, I come home whenever we're not in session here. So I just flew out here on Monday, and at least hopefully I'll get to go home tomorrow, but I don't know. It depends on what happens here in DC.
I assume you're following.
Air travel. I'm on a plane a lot, and this obviously impacts air travel too, and people's ability to move. We're talking
with Susan Delben, Representative Susan Delben. When you're home in town, have you been seeing the local stories about energy costs that are going up? The prices for energy companies are wanting to raise prices. Have you seen those?
We've seen energy costs across the board. Like I said, go to the grocery store. Just look at how much you pay for groceries right now.
But here's a specific question
People
for
are
you.
impacted across the board.
I don't mean to cut you off. I do have to ask this question specifically. When it comes to the energy costs in Washington State, the reason that they're talking about raising, I think PSC wanted to raise it $51 a month. That's $600 a year for the average family for PSC. And the reason they cited was the extra costs from the CCA, because they have to buy those carbon offsets.
Yeah.
Those same things. Washington State usually has about $1 more expensive gallon than Oregon or Idaho. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I'm fully on board with what you're saying. The costs are so much because of the Iran situation, but when that goes away...
Tariffs have had a huge impact on costs.
100%. 100%.
And we're a trade-dependent state. That's had a disproportionate impact on our state.
Specifically, can you talk about the CCA, though?
So, but let's also talk about the investments we can make to address a huge challenge that we face around the globe, and definitely in our region.
Listen, I'm all for helping people around the globe.
Investments in clean renewable energy. If we want clean renewable energy, which has been a place where Washington State has differentiated itself, we've had a lot of hydro that's been helpful and spurred economic growth in the state of Washington. We've got to address the challenge that we face. Climate is a challenge. The science is clear.
What would you say to the average? What would you say? I understand that, but what would you say to the average person?
But we have to look at the various ways. And I can only speak on the federal side in terms of what we do to invest. We saw, for example, investments in hydrogen, a federal hydrogen hub in our region, which was $1 billion for our region. President Trump pulled that away. This is about making sure we're building a strong economy.
I got to be honest,
competitive.
Representative Delben, it feels like you're not answering the question. I understand all those conversations. No, but the CCA, specifically the CCA. And the reason I'm pushing on it, Spike, the reason I'm pushing on it is because that cost crosses everything. Energy, like we just talked about. Pain at the pump, like we just talked about. And the Department of Ecology, you are a Washington resident, you know this because you live here. The Department of Ecology is required by law to show us that these investments, as you say, that we're making are actually having a positive effect. And they are not showing those numbers. So my question is, if you can't justify the program because you're not willing to show us the information that's actually doing some good, how can you keep asking people who are the poorest among us to pay these very regressive prices when it comes to gas, which you have to use to get to work, to energy costs? What do you say to those people? Just like standing in front of the gas sign and talking about the Iran war, which I applaud you for. What do you say to those people who are frustrated with the CCA saying, listen, I love the environment, I want a clean earth as much as possible, but right now I can't afford this?
I want to say, let's make investments that help lower costs across the board, that make sure we have strong economic opportunity going forward. On the federal side, and that's what as a federal representative, I want to be clear about the policies that we've been trying to put in place to help address that, to help build a clean, renewable energy future, to help support the innovation, and to help lower costs. That means making sure that we are making strong investments like we saw in the hydrogen hub that I strongly supported. That was public sector dollars with private sector dollars to spur innovation. We have great investments in things like fusion and making sure that we have, wind and solar and a diverse energy portfolio. That's been a strength that we've had in our region. Those investments help us make sure that these technologies not only can come, but also can help lower costs. Right now, the reason we see such a strong spike and impact on our communities is because we also have such a strong dependence on fossil fuels. Let's make sure we're being competitive, we're being innovative, and we diversify in our region. At the federal level, we've made some of those investments. Unfortunately, we've seen this administration take them away. The state is also making investments and making decisions to help move to a clean, renewable future, and they have policies that they put in place
at a great cost. At a great cost to the consumer. At a great cost to the consumer.
And number one thing that we need to focus on across the board is how we lower costs for folks. And one way we do that is making sure we're investing in our families, in our communities. Unfortunately, what we've seen in DC, people were promised lower costs. We've seen policies here, and the president as well promised to lower costs on day one. It's a broken promise. Tariffs, gutting healthcare, premiums skyrocketing, all raising prices on families. We need to make sure, and a war that is raising prices and costing billions of dollars. We need to be investing in our communities.
Well, when that war ends, I would love to see Washington gas prices parity other states in the region. I think that would be nice for Washington consumers because everybody's being choked out here. But Susan Delben, thank you so much, Representative, for coming on with us. We look forward to talking with you again. We'd love to do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Take care.
You too.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through Sunday, May 3rd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
If you're like me, you're what part of they're called the sandwich generation. That's you've got kids that you're caring for, and you've got parents that you're caring for and worrying about. And the thought, the decision on assisted living might be one of the hardest things you ever have to decide. Here's what I wish someone had told me sooner: Aegis Living. Aegis Living has been voted best of Western Washington. Seniorly, one of the leading industry evaluators of communities for seniors. 60,000 different communities reviewed nationwide. Aegis Living voted #1 senior living community in all of America in 2025. Go to agesliving.com/spike and book a visit today. There's no pressure, no obligation. You get a nice take-home gift. When you tour, you'll say to whoever you're with, this must be the place, because it is. agesliving.com/spike.
511 is now part of Seattle, and they're celebrating at South Center Mall this Saturday, April 18th. 511 makes purpose-built gear, including pants, shirts, bags, and more. Built to handle whatever your day throws at you. Be one of the first 100 people in line and get a free gift. Then check out the 511 Adventure Area and test your skills on the rock climbing wall. Join them from 10 to 6, one day only. Saturday, April 18th at South Center.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener, like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV, but if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to it at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1
get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS4KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PROMO25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger.
Washington's lottery gives out a lot of green to winners in schools and retailers are serene. Washington lottery, Washington lottery.
Visit WaLottery.com. Who benefits to learn more.
With the high gas prices, now is the time to buy a hybrid or all-electric at Subaru of Puyallup. Great selection and pricing are at your stress-free dealership, SubaruofPuyallup.com.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Advanced Hair Restoration, the simple one-day hair loss solution that's guaranteed to regrow your own natural hair. AdvancedHair.com. AdvancedHair.com.
Hey, welcome back to the show. If you guys just missed, we just had a great interview with Representative Susan Delben. She was talking about high gas prices, and we got the opportunity to also ask her about high prices in Washington outside of the Iran war. Really interesting back and forth, and you guys should check that out if you get a chance. Let me get to this story right here, Spike. Did you see this? Do you remember Baby Jessica?
Dude, yeah.
Were you alive for Baby Jessica?
It was only 30.
I guess I was too.
It was like 37 years ago.
I was a baby myself.
But you were a baby. You were a baby Jake.
I was already on the radio. Jessica. I said, I'm like you, but I'm not stuck in a well.
I want to make any disparaging. The poor kid fell into a well, became a international, I don't want to say celebrity, but cause.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
The whole world turned their attention to the rescue of this infant.
This was the sound on October 16th, 1987, live on TV, when baby Jessica was rescued from being stuck in a well. This story was amazing, and the entire country was riveted.
There she is. She's got a bandage on her head, Tracy, from what I can see. I see her eyes open, I think. I see some dried blood on her cheek. I think her eyes are open. Oh, boy.
If I'm not mistaken, one of the very, very bittersweet moments during this whole ordeal was when they could hear her humming the song of Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes. They were trying to maintain contact.
Trying to keep her trying to like stay connected and keep her spirits up. And so they would sing Winnie the Pooh, which as a parent, you just go like, oh my gosh, this is the saddest, sweetest thing. And thank God that they got her out. And it was such a big deal that they even did. This was on The Simpsons.
The Simpsons did it. That's The Simpsons.
I've never seen this, but tell me about this.
So The Simpsons do a whole episode about rescuing a baby who had fallen down a well in Springfield.
We have a Baby Jessica modern day story, which is why we're talking about this.
Yeah.
But go tell me The Simpsons.
There's a whole they make a telethon.
Okay.
To raise money and awareness for the baby that fell into the well.
Okay. And this is actually Sting?
Yes, they brought. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Here's a little bit of that, and then we'll tell you why we're talking about Baby Jessica.
There's a hole in my heart, as deep as a well, for that poor little boy who's stuck halfway to hell.
Though we can't get him out, we'll do the next best thing.
Sideshow Bob.
Go on TV and sing.
Oh, no.
And we're sending our love down the well. Oh, way down. We're sending our love down the well.
Well, we could do that because the baby was fine.
Baby's fine.
She was rescued and lived a normal life.
She lived a normal life
until last week.
Up until a couple days ago.
Sorry.
Jessica McClure Morales, widely known as Baby Jessica. This is from NBC. I'm going to read you a little bit of this. After she was rescued from a deep well in 1987, was arrested Saturday. Oh, that's a shame. Following allegations of a domestic disturbance at her Midland County home. The 40-year-old was charged with assault causing bodily injury involving family violence. Just horrible.
Yeah, the star is faded. The spotlight is dimmed.
I won't say this is This is not the worst thing that's ever happened in her life.
It's close.
But it's a real close second.
Yeah.
She will find herself confined again, likely.
Boy, that's going to be re-traumatization, right?
She's going to go in there and
upside down
Wait a minute.
in a tight space. A cell would feel massive compared to the well. She was stuck. We didn't mean to make jokes. It's tough when anybody has
domestic. It's okay to make jokes. She's fine. She's a 40-year-old woman. She made a mistake, allegedly.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you're at card tables at a signing. Come meet Baby Jessica. People are like, who?
Yep.
That's tough to the old ego. It's a tough blow. And next thing you know, you're Cannon's a lone star all over the living room, and trouble breaks out. They got to call the cops, and you're wearing bracelets.
Wearing bracelets.
Yeah.
Let's see if Winnie the Pooh maybe again. I don't know.
Sings a song to this one.
Yeah. Crazy story. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We're going to be right back.
Nick, you know what my dad always used to say?
Oh, which thing? Let me guess. If you put anything on a hot dog besides mustard, it's un-American?
Okay, that's true. Okay, but no, about the word worry. Remember he used to say about the word worry?
Yes, that it's not a verb, but it actually is.
I know it's a verb, but Nick, his point was nothing comes from worrying. You can sit here and worry about all the news and all about the chaos in the world. You worry about your health, but nothing comes of it. You have to take action.
Right.
Like, for instance, you and I, we go into Longevity Medical Clinic. That's an action. It's about taking that action. Like, people can go to Longevity Medical Clinic, take the free health analysis, and then they can find out how they're aging and the things they can do in order to slow down the process to have a big, full, rich life so you can enjoy a hot dog with whatever you want on it.
And now worry is a verb.
See, there you go. So it all starts for you taking action. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Congratulations to KIRO News Radio's Charlie Harger and digital content producer Patrick Janasek, nominated for a Northwest Emmy Award for investigative reporting.
It began with a question from the community. It seemed almost too stunning to be true.
KIRO News Radio is honored to be the only radio station nominated for the prestigious Emmy Award as part of our commitment to impactful storytelling across every platform, reaching into the communities we serve. On KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. President Trump says Israel and Lebanon have agreed to a ceasefire set to take effect at this hour.
President Trump says he spoke by phone with the leaders of Lebanon and Israel about a 10-day truce.
I had a great talk with both of them today. They're going to be having a ceasefire, and that'll include Hezbollah.
Iranian-backed Hezbollah militants have been part of the fight with Israel, even as negotiators try to end the war between the U.S. and Iran. The president also says he expects a White House meeting in the next week or so between Lebanon and Israel that will seal the deal. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Hezbollah says it is not a party to the ceasefire. Before the truce took effect, the Israeli army attacked Hezbollah rocket launcher sites after taking fire from southern Lebanon. A 25-year-old man was seriously injured in northern Israel by debris from a rocket. President Trump appears to be trying to drive a wedge between Pope Leo and the pontiff's brother.
This is the real world. It's a nasty world. But as far as the Pope and saying what he wants, he can do that. Now, I know the Pope's brother. He is a big MAGA person. He's got MAGA all over his house. His name is Louis. He's actually a great guy.
In Cameroon today, the Pope made another pointed plea for peace. Police say the former lieutenant governor of Virginia, Justin Fairfax, shot and killed his wife, then turned the gun on himself. Fairfax County Police Chief Kevin Davis.
There's been a divorce proceedings that have been ongoing. Former Lieutenant Governor Fairfax was recently served some paperwork associated with an upcoming court proceeding that apparently led to this incident last night.
The couple's teenage son called 911 just after midnight. The House has approved an extension of temporary protections for Haitian immigrants living in the United States. But CBS's Allison Keyes says the legislation is only symbolic.
The House legislation was pushed through by Democrats and a few Republicans over the objections of the GOP leadership. It would require a 3-year extension of temporary protected status for Haitians as their nation is roiled by gang violence. But it faces a tough road in the Senate, and President Trump would almost certainly veto it.
The Supreme Court will soon hear a case that would end the protected status for Haitian and Syrian immigrants. The Artemis II crew is talking about the wonders of space days after their return to Earth from a spin around the moon. NASA astronaut Reed Wiseman.
When the sun eclipsed behind the moon, I think all four of us, I turned to Victor and I said, I don't think humanity has evolved to the point of being able to comprehend what we were looking at right now, because it was otherworldly and it was amazing.
It's the second consecutive record high for the S&P today. This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Mornings.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute.
Y'all came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings. Coming up, Sound Transit facing tough questions from both county and city leaders. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
And thank you, Aaron. Day and night plumbing, heating, cooling, and electric has our update. North 5 through Seattle gets thick there at the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. Again, approaching our Ship Canal Bridge. Add 20 minutes to your drive to get through downtown. South 5, we're looking good now that we cleared that earlier crash near Mercer. Just minor crowding, really, from Northeast 50th to the Convention Center. Our lake bridges look great. North 405, you're going to slow through the Renton S-curves. Southbound on the Valley Freeway, we're beginning to fill in a little bit through parts of Kent and Auburn. Again, through Pacific, Renton to Puyallup is going to take you a half hour. And this afternoon's bridge inspection is wrapped up at Hood Canal, so we're back to free flowing to vehicles across the bridge again. This month, when you install a new AC or heat pump, you'll get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Scheduled today at dayandnight.net. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Sound Transit is getting an earful from people in Everett who are learning that a promised light rail extension may not happen as scheduled. Everett Mayor Cassie Franklin tells KIRO 7 TV the years-long delay is inexcusable.
35,000 people that work in and around Boeing and aerospace. It's a major job center, and people need to get to that job center.
The agency is facing a $34 billion deficit, dealing with rising construction costs and lower projected revenue. Another big issue is people not paying the fare. Only about 60% of riders pay to ride light rail. Sound Transit Board member Claudia Balducci says turnstiles might be helpful at some stations.
There's just too much fare jumping, and we want to block it off. But I don't think we need to do it at every single one of these stations. And what I want to do is be data-based about it.
The agency is looking at multiple options to cut costs. Pierce County Council members, meantime, sent a letter to Sound Transit today asking the agency to deliver on its promise to have light rail reach Tacoma. One day after the city swept a homeless encampment in West Seattle, some campers have returned. This morning, more than a dozen people were back at Totem Pole Park. Neighbors like Iris Hicks tells us they're sympathetic but frustrated.
We wanted homelessness to be solved, so we have thrown tax dollars at it, and nothing substantial has come out of it. We need meaningful action to happen for these folks.
City crews were also back at the park today, dismantling tents that were put back up after yesterday's sweep. 3 companies are exploring plans to build massive new data centers in Seattle. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey says the projects could consume as much as a third of the city's power supply.
One estimate says the proposed data centers could use as much electricity needed to power around 300,000 homes. And if that demand for more power goes up, the price for electricity will go up too. Andy Strong with Seattle City Light tells us they're working to make sure that does not happen.
It's going to take some time to review with the mayor's office all options that we have to protect our ratepayers.
The 3 companies that have data centers around the world are in exploratory stages to build near existing City Light power stations. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
That's your weather update. We are drying out this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, highs in the upper 50s today and again tomorrow, mid-60s for the weekend. Right now, 51 degrees. In downtown Seattle, I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Lots of great stuff to get to. If you guys want to get in on this conversation or any of these conversations, you can hit us up on the text line, Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Another thing you can do is you can watch us on the YouTube page, which a lot of people enjoy. It's a lot of fun. See our smiling faces when we're smiling. You can see our angry faces when we're angry. A lot of faces.
New high-def cameras, too.
Very high-def.
What's with the height thing? Did you bribe the camera operator? That's interesting. You're about a foot and a half smarter than me right now, by camera angle alone. You're a foot and a half smarter than me.
I'll take it.
I'm wondering if that's we've come at a level playing field to have our discussions. That doesn't.
There we go.
Thank you, camera operators.
All right.
Clearly,
it's the Skynet. It's the AI. I find myself working the controls here.
I'm a foot and a half shorter again.
It fights me. It fights me.
Are you the guy doing it?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'll fix it, and then the AI Skynet will tweak it again.
Well, the AI
Producer Mike filling in. Laura's out of town this week. Mike's filling in, doing a great job.
I understand.
All right.
The AI factors IQ and then lowers the person with the higher IQ to level the playing field. Now I don't feel so bad.
Or it feels bad for mine, and so it raises me up to put me on an equal playing field.
That's all right. We had somebody the other day accidentally bonk into one of the cameras.
One of our guests in the studio?
And it just was spiraling all day, and I couldn't get control of it.
We got past it. All right, we got a lot of stuff to get
it's
to.
Like when Matt Damon poked a hole in his glove in The Martian.
Yeah.
Remember, next thing you know, the camera's in here spinning out of control.
Everything is fixable with duct tape.
True.
All right, I want to talk about this. Spike, you guys already talked about this.
Speaking of duct tape, yes, that's where were you when this
is the
levy?
The library levy.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys already talked about this. I think this was on Thursday. I checked in as I was on my way. I was sitting in a ferry line, actually, waiting to, go off and see my in-laws.
Getting more or less service than you're paying for waiting in a ferry line. I see a pattern.
And I was listening to you and
Mike Lewis.
And Mike Lewis
Yeah.
was filling in while I was out, and you guys were talking about this new library levy. Now, at the time, the library levy was Katie Wilson originally asked for $410 million.
$410 million over 7 years.
Over
right.
7 years.
To
and
renew
then,
a levy that was 7 years old and is expiring this
That's
year.
right. And it went to, the last one they had was in what, 2019?
Yes. Yeah.
It went to Seattle City Council, and the Seattle City Council voted unanimously to approve it, but they didn't just approve it. They actually added money to it. They said, you
Right.
didn't ask us for enough.
Yeah.
So the number seems large to me, but I'm
Sure, sure.
you know, I'm not a huge numbers guy. So please explain to me what this is all about.
So initially, as you mentioned, the $410 million levy was proposed to the city council. And they knew that this was going to be funding for the Seattle Library system for the next 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
They took a look at some maintenance and upgrades that had been delayed because the last levy was for $219 million. That was pre-COVID.
And then during COVID, things shut down.
Things shut down, and they had a lot of things just, a lot of revenue didn't come in. Things were open, but facilities fell into disrepair. Long story short, they took a look at where they were and what they would need over the next 7 years and determined that there were maintenance upgrades and improvements with regard to heating and ventilation and air conditioning, with regard to winterizations or roofing, with regard to elevator maintenance or upgrades or
new books.
Some new books, but most of it was maintenance and repair.
Yeah.
Most of they asked for an additional $70 million. So the levy bumped from 410 to 480, and then the city council had to vote on that increase, let alone the approval of the initial. Follow me? So now it's up to 480.
So the number as it breaks down here, 480 sounds like a lot of money to me.
It is a lot of money, but it's
a lot of money.
It's also 7 years.
Yeah, it's still a lot of money.
About $70 million a year on average.
So hours and access. Well, that's just the levy part of it. They also get they get general fund money as well. So this isn't all the money that they would get, right? They get this. The levy pays for a part. Is it a third of the budget of the library? Is that how it works out?
I do not know. That's information I wasn't aware of. I thought it was to fully fund the library system.
I think the library system is a combination of. I think there is general fund stuff, and then I think there's also levies for additional things.
Okay.
Because think about it. If a levy didn't pass, the library would lose all funding. I don't think that's a good setup.
I'll look.
So it must be.
Yeah. Okay.
Mike, look up that. See how does the library funding break down? How much is the levy, and then how much is general fund? I'd be interested in that. Anyway, here's how it breaks down. Hours and access to support library operating hours, outreach, and engagement services through Seattle. $218 million. 218.4, but who's counting? Collections and materials would receive, so that's like new books, titles, online things, $58.5 million. Building maintenance is $85.9 million. Let's see here. Technology updates would be $38.2 million. I don't know why that doesn't fall into building upgrades, but that's an additional $38.2 million. And then there's some staffing upgrade things.
They're talking
that's
about
light.
full-time staffing, full-time security for all, or security for all library branches, not just some.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that places are safe. It's for access to online use and learning.
Wasn't it only 3 security guards additionally?
I'm not sure.
I think it was.
By the way, I looked up really quickly.
$2.3 million?
The levy accounts for 1/3 of the library's operating budget.
There
The
you
rest
go.
of it comes from the state budget.
Yeah, there you go. So, $480 million sounds like a lot if that was the entire budget, but it's 3 times that.
Yeah.
Here's my question to you. What are they doing with all this money? I don't understand how they need all that money.
Well, they're paying for the cost of maintaining, staffing, equipment. There's from whether it's just books or digital assets or availability of these assets to the community.
Mm-hmm.
They have different services that the libraries provide. It's not just a bookstore. It's so much
I
more.
know. I use the library.
Yeah.
I frequent it quite often, actually. People might be surprised to know I can read. So I'm at the library quite often. I do a lot of their online, which is really cool. You can do I use through the Libby app. Do you ever use that, the Libby app?
Mm-mm.
So the Libby app is a really cool thing because you can connect through whatever your local, I think it's a national app, but you can connect through whatever your local library is. You can put in your library card. You can sign in through that. And then you can request online digital titles.
Nice.
So they will send it right to in my case, I use a little
laptop
Kindle reader that I use at
yeah.
night, which has appropriate so it doesn't keep my eyes burning right before I'm sleeping. It's got that low light thing so I can kind of fall asleep.
You blue glasses?
I'm not a blue glass guy.
Yeah.
Because those people look crazy.
But my wife's already look. I think that was a foregone conclusion. They'll look crazy on my wife. So she's really, but
they look crazy on everyone.
They do.
They do. Everybody wears them. I'm like, are you a cyborg?
It's not about vanity, though. It's about, it's about you being able to read and enjoy and relax and learn and do show research and recreational reading, all the things that you want to do.
It's like circadian rhythm
Exactly.
stuff.
And then be able to go to sleep within the next 3 hours.
The joke I make with my wife, whenever we talk about it, is I say your cicada rhythm, which is a bug.
Which is noisy and only has it every 7 years.
Yes,
I like
exactly. No, but here's my question about the library, which doesn't. Mike's handing you something here. I'm interested.
See, I'm trying to be all clever while we're doing radio on the radio, but I sent you more information in the rundown about the breakdown of the levy proposal.
All right, so I don't understand where all this money is going.
Okay,
it's so much money, and I'm not calling it fraud, but when I see somebody asking for 410, the Seattle City Council unanimously says, "Hey, you didn't ask for enough. You should ask for 70 million more. In fact, we're just going to force you to take it." $500 million, and we're talking about a third of the budget comes through the levy, which means that the budget's going to be at least or exceeding $1 billion.
About 1.5, close to 1.5.
But you thought it was for 7 years at 480. If it's over $1 billion, don't you think that sounds excessive?
That's $210 million a year to run how many library branches we have? 27 branches.
Does that not sound like a lot?
Yeah, but it's a lot of money. I don't know what it takes to run a library. I know.
Well, neither do they. I don't think that's too much.
These are smart people. They know what they're doing. These are well-read people. I think pretty much everybody who's involved with the library can read.
Here's the thing. I used to think that was true. I used to agree with you. I used to think that these are the smart people, and the people that are leading us are the people that know what they're doing. And as it turns out, that's not true. Did you know they're just regular people?
No.
Who have sought higher office, many times driven by hubris or whatever the reason. Sometimes it's a bad bet.
Oftentimes.
And then they end up getting in charge, and then they go $480 million for a library system. How many new buildings are they putting out? I didn't read the proposal, but how many new buildings are they building?
I don't think we're getting any new libraries.
What?
I don't think we're getting new. This is maintenance and
for $480 million, no new buildings?
Well, 218 is for hours and access. The library collections themselves, which are books and materials, fine free borrowing, collections and stocking shelves, blah, 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 shelving staff. That's $58.5 million for that.
Sure.
Building maintenance is $85.9 million over 7 years for it. Okay. Again, that's about a third of the budget. So quickly, times.
Or a tenth of the full budget.
Yeah, about $250 million over 7 years for building maintenance. That's routine maintenance. Like I said, mentioned HVAC, library furniture, some new screens, some screen cleaner, window washers, that kind of stuff. The stuff you need.
You need $250 million for that?
Yeah.
For window washing?
You know what? Here's what the only thing I love about this is it more than they need? I don't know. Is it waste? Possibly.
Yes.
Well, you're saying yes, but we don't know.
We don't
know what.
Here's why I think it's waste. Finish your point. And then
I think responsible people figure out what the budget is. They don't just throw pie in the sky numbers out there.
Really?
Because you're asking the public to vote on this. You're asking the public to vote to increase their property taxes to help fund this.
It's like $160 a year per house.
Yeah,
is that about it?
Per house, yeah. So then a community gets the option of weighing in. Is it worth it to you to have someplace in your community that's always there available to you, that's available online and in person, that's a safe place that offers, assisted learning, that offers tax help in this, story time for the kids, a fun place that's a part of every kid's growing up experience should be a library, right?
Sure.
You get to vote. So, I mean, they're not going to just throw this monster number out there that's excessive or wasteful because then people probably wouldn't vote for it.
Let me ask you.
I think they're pretty careful about how they come up with a number.
Let me ask you this question. The last library levy was in 2019. It was for $219 million. They offered everything that you just described. So how did they do that?
Well, they had to defer some costs, which is why this one's more. The stuff that didn't happen in the last 7 years.
This is 119% more.
Okay.
So
everything's more expensive.
It's not 119% more expensive. Here, I'm going to save them $200 million. I'm going to save them a ton of money. I looked this up. I asked Claude right before the show. I said, Claude, how much more percentage-wise is this than the last time? It's 119% more. And then I also said adjusted for, because obviously there's inflation.
Is life 119% more expensive than it was?
Absolutely not.
All the things that come into play of making a library system work.
So between 2019 and 2026, inflation has risen 29.16%. But their budget, they want $119 more dollars than they got in 2019. And so then I asked them, I said, well, how much would those 2019 dollars be in today's dollars? And the answer would be $282 million. That's what I would approve for them. I'd say whatever you took last time, adjusted for inflation, you can have that again because you ran the entire system. You're not building any new buildings.
Yeah, but they weren't able to maintain elevators or escalators or HVAC systems or do building repairs.
But why not?
they used the budget they had, and they covered the costs that they had to cover, and they stocked shelves, and they staffed buildings.
Why didn't they do the necessary things that they were supposed to do? Was there no building and maintenance part of the budget back in 2019? Was that not part of it?
Perhaps escalating costs of maintenance and labor and materials exceeded the budget they had dedicated.
Let's say this. Let's add the $85.9 million they say they need for library maintenance to the adjusted for inflation version of $282, and that puts us right around what, $360?
Sure.
That's still a savings of over $100 million. They're asking for $480. They approved $480. What's the extra $120 million for? And I'm giving them building and maintenance. I don't understand what all the money's for. And they're not explaining it in a great way. Now, I don't have a dog
not explaining a way that you're not getting. I'm sure.
What am I not getting?
I get it. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth $100 and some bucks a year to me as a homeowner to help fund libraries.
But
I think they add
were
value.
Already funding libraries for half the price. So I don't understand
those days are gone.
Why are those days gone?
Because life's moved on. Houses are worth twice as much.
29.16% inflation. They already own the buildings.
Okay.
And they're building the building. I'm not voting. I don't live in Seattle. But I don't understand.
Well, they encourage the citizens of Seattle who listen to this show.
Oh, I hope they're hearing this.
Vote down the library levy. Yeah.
$480 million, 1/3 of the budget, $480 million. Something they did last time for $282 million adjusted for today's inflationary dollars. And they want a 119% increase.
Well, let's Mike do us a favor. Get the library czar. Let's get somebody who could explain this to us. So why, given for inflation and given for cost of all these things that you're asking for, seems like you're asking for much, much, much more than it would take to do this job.
Much more.
Let's get somebody that knows how they came up with this number.
I mean, I'm just a guy who's looking at the number going,
I hear you.
If Seattle's $150 million in debt and they're asking for 119% more, they're asking for, if I just save them $200 million essentially, I've just fixed Seattle's debt problems. If I'm a voter in Seattle, which I'm not, again, so I'm just trying to be a helpful neighbor. If I'm a voter in Seattle, I'd be going, hey, you know what? These guys are making some sense over on the Jake and Spike show. Why are we paying $480 million for something we used to get for $210 million? What was it, 219? 219. 282 adjusted for inflation.
Yeah. I get a Toyota Corolla for $17,000 back then. Now it's $38,000.
But you know what a Toyota Corolla doesn't cost? 119% of what it cost in 2019. I bet you it doesn't. And so that's the part to me that I just don't, this doesn't make sense. And this is the part to me about all city budgets.
I appreciate that you care so much that you get
They just pick a number and then they just say it. And then everybody goes, well, it must be what they need because they asked for it. But $500 million for something you used to get for $219.
There's more books now. People wrote books.
Yeah. Because there's more books.
There's more books.
That's what everybody needs right now. I had two of my kids this morning. Yeah, this is perfect. Great segue. Two of my kids this morning, as they're sitting around the breakfast table, are both complaining to me about the fact that they're forced to do these online assignments.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not even allowed to go to the fun part of class unless they do these online assignments. And I was just like, man, that does stink that they're forcing you onto these screens.
Especially at this age of their life, yeah.
It sounds
awful. You want to be
awful.
around people and teachers and kids.
My 8-year-old is saying this. I'm like, I don't want my 8-year-old thinking about him being, basking in the blue glow when he could be talking to a sweet teacher and she's teaching him or he's teaching him about reading and writing and all the fun things. They have to stare at these computers like little automatons or what are those? Automatons?
Automatons, yeah.
Is that a robot?
Yeah.
Okay, like a robot. And they're pushing everybody into screens, and they're going to make a bunch of investments. They say a bunch of this is about Wi-Fi access and all these different things.
Well, they'll give people who preferred being on screens.
And they want to spend $60 million on books. And I'm just going, man, here's the thing. If they just said, if the levy just doesn't pass, you know what's going to happen? They're not going to close a thing. They're going to make it work because that's how life works. You have to do with less. I have to do with less. Everybody at times in life has to do with less, and you just make it work.
So if an elevator doesn't work, if an escalator doesn't work,
an escalator's not going to stop working. It's the Seattle Public Library. You
hope
you have over $1 billion in budget. If they can't get an elevator maintained, then they're putting money into the wrong places. Don't you think?
Sure, but
you want to make sure people have access.
Yeah, you do. You actually, this is want to. You have to. It's
legally
law.
You're required to.
Yeah.
It requires $1.5 billion.
And that's what you need digital
access
for too, to make sure that everybody has equal access to the funds that the city provides to provide its citizens a better life,
Why is it
a
when
more
I see
fulfilled
these-
life.
Why is it when I see these stories, I feel like I'm going crazy, and you feel like a totally sensible person, and I'm looking at this going like, this number's nuts.
I don't have 4 young boys eating my brain every day.
That's true.
I mean, kids eat your brain. That's what
Kids eat
they're
your
here
brain.
for.
I'm
Eat
not
your brain.
sleeping.
This is I get sole access to my brain all day. Your brain is just being feasted upon by 4 young men.
I'm gonna approach the world with your optimism that everybody in charge knows exactly what they're doing.
And I am going to take off my rose-colored glasses once in a while. No. I
Use your circadian rhythm glasses.
Okay.
And stare at this.
Sure.
Library board of the
but
city council who just voted $500 million and say, you know exactly what you're doing.
I give them the benefit of that doubt. Sure. And $500 million.
Good for them. And you know what? I don't know if 480 is going to do it. Why don't you make it an even 5?
Sure. What are you thinking? You had our wallet. Just go in.
All right. We got more. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The action is fierce, the energy is over the top, and it's a night you don't want to miss. It's Excite Fight Live MMA at Muckleshoot Casino Resort on Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. See a full night of incredible combat when MMA fighters face off in the cage and turn the excitement all the way up. Get your tickets now at muckleshootcasino.com.
Digging in my yard, trying to lay a pipe. I hit a water line and now I have to pay a big fine. I should have called 811.
Nick, you know what's a great thing about going to Longevity Medical Clinic as a couple?
Oh, I absolutely do. When they tell you to do something, you actually do it.
Right. And the same thing with you. When they tell you to do it, because for some reason, when I tell you to do it, you're like, whoa.
I just walk away and roll my eyes.
Exactly. But the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic, the doctors there know, because we do the blood draw and they look and they can see, they know, they hold us accountable.
Yeah, when I'm under pressure and I know I'm coming in, I know I have to work the program.
Right. Plus, we also want to hold each other accountable for how we take care of ourselves because, you know, we want to have a long, healthy, happy life.
I know. I want every day to torture you as long as I possibly can.
Well, I look forward to it. Here's the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic. They're working with you. They're holding you accountable because they want you to have a long, healthy, happy life. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. or visit revivemenshealth.com.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Get more baseball for your buck with Mariners value options. Tickets for less than $12 to select games all season and the biggest ever value menu and beer lineup, featuring 36 items and available every game. Check it out at mariners.com/value.
Compassion, communication, results. That's Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com. That's pendergastlaw.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. This just in, a Western State Hospital escapee is now back in custody. Lakewood police say Joshua Rice left the hospital grounds back on March 31st. He was being held for a court-ordered competency review on robbery and assault charges. Police say Rice, who is considered dangerous, was arrested in SeaTac on Sunday for trespassing and theft. Rice is now in the Pierce County Jail awaiting his next court appearance. A battle over law enforcement oversights heads to court today. 4 Eastern Washington sheriffs, including Spokane County's John Knowles, filed that legal challenge to a law that allows a state board to decertify elected sheriffs.
We could be removed from office without a vote of the people for exercising our First Amendment rights.
Knowles was speaking there with the Jason Rantz Show on Seattle Red. Supporters of the measure say it's designed to increase law enforcement's accountability. Washington Congresswoman is blasting a new pilot program that she says is allowing AI to review Medicare claims. KIRO Radio's John Repp with a closer look at Susan Delben's confrontation with the Health and Human Services Secretary.
During a House committee hearing, Delben targeted an AI-powered pilot program designed to cut waste. She said in reality, it kept a local senior from getting treatment for a herniated disc. Her question for RFK.
Do you think that Joanne's treatment, which would allow her to walk and live with less pain that her doctor has prescribed, do you think that's wasteful?
Do you want me to actually answer that question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a terrible outcome.
She's introduced legislation to stop the AI pilot program. John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
Some students at Glacier Peak High School in Snohomish got an X-rated lesson in class when they were shown nude images during a classroom PowerPoint presentation.
In a letter to families obtained by the Jason Rantz Show on Seattle Red 770 AM, Principal Alicia Mitchell said images of nude breasts briefly appeared on a teacher's slide and were later shared beyond the classroom. The Snohomish School District is investigating, but it has not revealed the teacher or class involved, nor has it said if anyone has been disciplined. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Success to 2:33, and we have Nate Connors now at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. Subaru of Puyallup has this update. North 5 through Seattle, no surprises here. You get thick before the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. Again, just past Mercer to the Ship Canal Bridge. It's taking you a half hour now to get through downtown. South 5, we're bumper to bumper from the north end of the Ship Canal Bridge in the downtown. Southbound 405 is thick at Southeast 8th and Bellevue through Factoria. Bellevue to Renton's at 20 minutes. North 405, you're going to slow through the Renton S-curves. Seattle to Federal Way is a half-hour trip. Nothing real heavy here, but you're going to slow from 405 to 516. We do have a new stall in Parkland, westbound 512 at State Route 7. It's taking up your left lane. We've got some pretty good backups behind it right now. With the high gas prices, now is the time to buy a hybrid or all-electric at Subaru of Puyallup. Great selection and pricing are at your stress-free dealership, SubaruPuyallup.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And to your forecast now, sunshine this afternoon, drying out after some wild weather yesterday. Right now, 54 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
welcome back to the show. We had a really great guest on earlier. Chris Sullivan joined us. What was this, 12:30?
Yeah, about that, a couple hours ago.
He has a story about Sound Transit. And Sound Transit has a Sophie's Choice that they have to make right now. And it has to do with whether or not you can get people to pay fares, whether or not you can get them to actually buy enough tickets to ride on the train.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And how many people right now are not paying those fares? Do we remember that number?
About 40% of the people who ride the train are not bothering to pay the fare.
Okay.
And we had Sully on and we asked, what is it about this system that makes people think it's okay to just skip it?
Yes.
And why was the system built to make this an honors system?
Yeah, why didn't they put in turnstiles?
Exactly.
Okay, so he gets into that a little bit. We're going to play a couple of clips from Sully here. Here you go.
Well, one of the reasons is the way our system is set up.
Logistically.
New York is underground, right? Chicago is elevated, right? That's why it's called the L.
Yeah.
Here, a lot of our stations they chose to put at grade, right? Like at street level.
Sure.
So if you think about driving up along MLK, where all those stations are right there along the street, if you put turnstiles or fare gates or built something up around them, people who wanted to evade or avoid paying would be walking across the tracks or walking across lanes of traffic. So it didn't make sense for them to put in turnstiles at those places.
It would have been a design and logical big-time expense.
And a safety issue, potentially, and something, lawsuits.
Oh, come on. They don't care about expense.
Potentially. Well, back then, things are a lither different. Well, Sound Transit does have its own history. We're not going to forget.
It would have been more expensive to build a system.
And maybe you would have had bigger infrastructure. Maybe more businesses or homes would have lost them along the right of way.
I much more buy the idea that they're trying to protect people on the tracks and the idea that they're trying to save money. They don't give two rats behinds about saving money. But
and the other thing is, and I asked Sound Transit, I can't remember who it was I asked at the time, who was on the board, or if it was the CEO. I think it was at the CEO at the time, like 15 years ago. I was like, why not? Why not put in turnstiles? And they said, that's not what Seattle does. Seattle isn't a turnstile city. I'm like, what does that mean? I don't even know what that. I still don't even know what that means.
Well, we're a city of honor. We're a city of honor.
Either that, or he's like, we don't need turnstiles.
We're decent people.
So that's kind of that was their answer. Was that's not the Seattle way. I was like, well, okay.
Do they think they're idiots? They're just stupid people.
No, maybe you thought that people would do the right thing. You'd think we would do the right thing. I don't know, but so Seattle is not a turnstile city, is what I was told.
Do you think they could ever get turnstiles to work?
They're going to have to.
Yeah,
they're going to have to. And I would put this out there. They may have been right 10, 15 years ago to say, well, that's not who we are.
Sure.
We're a city that we're decent people. We're an educated population. But I think it's easy to say that Seattle has devolved in the last 10, 15 years. We're not the city we were then. We're still a great city.
Sure.
But we're a city full of people who are having a hard time making ends meet, who are oftentimes cutting corners where they can, unscrupulous at times. And, we've become a population in an economic environment where people are going to be forced to do the right thing, not just asked to do the right thing.
It is interesting when he references the underground and then the elevated thing, though, because it does present problems at certain stops.
At certain
that are
stops,
right on the road.
And
because
they're looking at maybe do we need to add turnstiles?
Yeah.
Do we need to add gated entry to these? I know we have a clip too about what fares were expected to cover in the cost of doing business.
Okay.
For Seattle's light rail.
When Sound Transit originally came together, they put this together. They promised voters that they would get 40% of their overall funding,
from
40% from fares.
Now that's operating costs, right?
Well,
that's not construction.
Not that covering whatever it is.
What it costs
they build it.
Less than half of what it would cost to run that
40%.
business. They said they could get from fares.
And then now, because they can't reach that number and never even have come close, they keep revising that number down.
Yeah.
As it stands today, they promised voters 40%. Right now, they hope to get 17%. The actual number is 12, which is up from 10 just a couple of years ago coming out of the pandemic.
Why does anybody take this thing seriously at all? That was the question I left off with Chris.
Yeah,
but I do wonder what if they're in a back room somewhere kind of scratching their heads going, because I know those conversations are happening about, that $35 billion more they're saying they're going to need, either from asking it from taxpayers. I don't even think they have to ask it, actually. I think the authority was granted to them. They can just take it.
Yep.
So do they just take more money, or do they make cuts in areas like, extensions?
Right, to Everett, off the table.
To
Tacoma,
Everett,
West
Tacoma.
Seattle, what's off the table?
But if you tell Tacoma, who didn't even vote, could you imagine? Tacoma didn't want this in the first place.
Right. They got billed.
They voted it down, didn't they? And then now they're getting a bill every month. I think the average cost for people is like $1,700 a year.
God knows when we'll get to downtown Tacoma.
Yeah.
Here's another thing I'd like to throw out here for you guys. So I live in the South End. I live in SeaTac. I'm by the airport. Angle Lake is my light rail station. In the time that I've lived in the South End, new stations have been built on both directions of the I-5 corridor. It's down to Federal Way now. There have been 3 new stops south of me. There's Northgate has opened all the way up through Linwood. So of all of those new stops that are stations that have been built, why not build turnstiles into the new stations that have been built over the last 5 years? I've watched these stations be built and be constructed in my time, and I walked past it. I was like, well, I know why the old stations don't have it, but why not the new ones?
Yeah, I mean, there's a new Northgate, isn't there one in Northgate?
Northgate was where it used to end, and that's an elevated station.
And
you can gate that. You can gate 90% of the stations they're after, even after the fact.
I wonder.
The only thing is you can't gate are the ones that, like I mentioned, at street level through the MLK.
And I wonder if that would be something that could potentially be something that could be challenged in court or something. If you're saying that riders at certain stops have to pay and riders at other stops are not being forced to pay, that doesn't seem fair. If you're not going to put turnstiles in everywhere, then why, I can understand people being upset by that.
I think that's going to happen either way. I think you're going to have to go tolled. You're going to have to put gates up, and you're going to do it where it's physically and logistically makes sense.
Sure.
Capitol Hill Station, you got to go down below. Downtown at the Symphony Hall, you're going to have to put stations there. When you get down to the ballpark, where the massive amount of people are coming across the lake and they're coming from up and down the line to get to the games, those are harder positions to force people to pay. But clearly you can't go on the honor system much longer, if any longer, because they're just not getting it done, and you're digging deeper and deeper into a hole because the expectation, people aren't going to do something just because they should. Again, we're not the moral city we used to be. You have to force people to do this.
I would also worry. Let's say they've figured out how to put turnstiles in, which means they would have to figure out how to block any entrance onto the platforms, even the ones at street level. They have to literally put walls up.
Well, it's not that hard to put gates up.
I agree.
And if people are going to be dirtbags,
and I'm not arguing against fares.
I know you're not. Yeah.
I'm totally fine with fares and enforcing fares.
And if people are going to be dirtbags and skirt around or climb over, they had to make the turnstiles in New York City taller because people were leaping over them.
Yeah.
Some people are going to be dirtbags.
I also
make it a little bit harder to be a dirtbag.
I think you should. I agree with that, and I also think for the people like myself who I've ridden the train once, and yearly I'm paying for this thing.
Yeah.
Why don't we just give free lifetime light rail cards? Because I'm paying so much more money than I will ever get use out of it. Ever.
Yeah.
Why not just let me ride it?
Well, the argument
with
against
a card?
that is because since it's there, somebody's not in your way on the freeway. That's the benefit to you. Even if you don't ride it, you're taxed that way. You're subsidizing it.
Well,
because they're keeping growth, congestion
1%
growth
of people off the road.
Yeah, keeping a guy from out in front of you. That's worth $1 a day, right?
That's generous. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Sound Transit, did I forget to thank you?
I wonder why.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much.
You deserve a big wet kiss.
Thank you so much. Yeah. All right. We got text messages, lots of fun stuff coming up. Stick around.
The John Curley Show.
If by the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly there's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed, the 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Making the decision on whether it's time to look at assisted living for a parent or loved one can be one of the hardest decisions you have to make, but it doesn't have to be. Here's what I wish someone had told me sooner. AegisLiving.com. AegisLiving.com/Spike. Go and schedule a visit today. Locations all across Western Washington. They've been voted best of Western Washington. And with over 60,000 communities reviewed nationwide, seniorly ranked Aegis Living the #1 senior living community in all of America for 2025. Go to AegisLiving.com/Spike and book a visit today. When you do, there's no pressure, by the way. You get a nice gift to take home for free. Don't be surprised if you turn to whoever you're with and you'll say, this must be the place, because it is. AegisLiving.com/Spike.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Owie, wowie.
What's with the
water heater's worn out?
Way less hot water?
Takes a lot longer, too.
Sounds like a goner.
Worst of all?
What?
Wasn't planning on it.
We can help.
Apollo Plumbing.
Ready right now to get you
in hot water.
Same day.
Not this day. My budget.
How about with easy payments?
How much easy?
Around $50 a month with approved credit.
A new water heater?
50 gallons of 100% hot water delight.
For about $50 a month.
51, 52 to be precise.
And you can do it
today, if that's what you need.
Is it ever?
Apollo installs new ones with code upgrades.
Can't beat that.
Actually, I can.
What?
Your same-day water heater replacement includes Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Which means?
Apollo Plumbing covers your new water heater for life.
You mean should it ever wear out?
Apollo Plumbing replaces it free.
And if it needs service?
Service is included for our A-list members.
Wow!
Your new water heater is ready
right now
at ApolloPlumbing.com.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about artificial intelligence.
I cannot answer that.
Many professions are using it, and allegedly some are even being taken over by it. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know police are leveraging AI, whether it's analyzing body cam footage, reading license plates, or even facial recognition. AI has become a helpful tool, enabling officers to work more efficiently. And efficiency for them means more people getting pulled over. You can't chat GPT your way out of a high BAC. Getting legal advice from AI is no substitute for an attorney. Use AI correctly, or it can result in trouble, like a self-driving car taking you home from a bar.
You have reached your destination.
So call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com. If you get pulled over for DUI, the only thing you need your smart device to do is call 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY!
Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K.
Don't miss the Mariners' 50-season celebration night, August 8th, presented by Daktronics. Witness the most iconic gathering of Mariners greats in franchise history as the top 50 players are unveiled at T-Mobile Park. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. We got a bunch of text messages today. Thank you guys so much for participating on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. Let's get right into them. Mike, go for it.
All right, let's start with Metro Fare Enforcement. Todd in Burien says, what I remember years ago is if you were riding the bus into town, you paid when you got on. And if you're going away from town, you pay when you get off.
Seems pretty simple.
Yeah, now you just don't pay at all.
Now you just don't have to pay.
Oh, those were the days. Amy in Redmond says, in New York City, we thought we could pay on the bus, but you had to prepay, so we had to get off.
Interesting.
Surly bus driver.
I don't know if I understand that one completely, to be honest. Kirk from Tacoma says, there's no way in the universe that there were only 8 non-compliant people. They probably literally saw hundreds and hundreds, which makes it even worse.
We're talking about Charlie Harger's story this morning about the Metro, because we've been talking about so much fare enforcement, whether it's light rail, but also Seattle Metro, the bus riders. They had 30 fare enforcement officers for an entire year.
Which I didn't even know they had.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
And they issued 2,100 warnings to people for non-compliance of paying the fare.
40,000 hours work.
Yeah, 40,000 hours worth of work, a $3 million annual budget. They wrote 8 tickets in a year.
Eight actual citations.
None of which were enforced.
None were paid.
All were dismissed because people gave them bad addresses or phone numbers, yada, yada.
Yeah.
25253 says they are fare encouragers.
Oh, that's nice.
Aw, fare fairies. Bus buddies. It's all about branding.
Fare fairies I like.
Fare fairies is good,
Bus
right?
buddies
That's
is also good.
Make a wish. Bonk them in the head with a little wand.
Franklin in Olympia writes, this is ludicrous.
Hi, ludicrous. I love your work.
It's very simple. If you take the bus or take transit, you have to pay a fare. Why is culture involved?
Well, that was just Switzer said. He's the spokesperson for King County Metro.
Yeah, because people have no honor anymore.
He says, well, this is all about creating a culture where it's called did he call it?
Ride right.
Ride right.
Ride right with your bus buddy.
All right, let's see here. B and Puyallup. I ride the bus every day. I pay with my Orca card. 70% of riders on that bus do not pay the fare. It's usually unhoused or less desirable. They just walk in, they sit down, and the driver says nothing. But if I don't pay, I don't get a ride. That's the other thing. That doesn't seem fair. The people who are paying then feel like, well, why am I paying if these people are not paying? Are they more special than I am? Or do they have special rules that apply only to them because the fare enforcement officers don't feel comfortable talking to them for some reason? So why am I? Then you feel like a sucker for doing the right thing.
You're not wrong. I mean, I feel the same way about car tabs. I pay them.
Yeah.
But you see so many people who don't bother. You know, or they got those, people have those gray shadowed license plate covers.
So they can ride illegally in the toll lane.
Riding dirty.
Yeah.
You know, with your gin and juice, you and Snoop.
I hope you're not riding with gin and juice.
Who would know? How would you even stop them?
I hope not.
Got tinted windows and shades over their license plates, but I'm a sucker because I'm doing it the right way. Same way about the bus, same way about the light rail.
These people.
It makes you just want to pull your hair out. You're not the only one taking crazy pills.
Good.
It's not you.
Good. We're both crazy.
Right.
All right, let's move on from buses to light rail on
let's
turnstiles.
get
Oh, my gosh. Stupid
That's all we talked about today. What else
you know
do you want
what?
to talk
No,
about?
go to Katy Perry.
Okay, fine. Katy Perry. John in Snohomish writes, Justin Trudeau is the only one of the 3 who had real power. He is also with Lego, not Lego-less.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't understand this with Lego.
Well,
Legolas was the name of the character. Sans Lego, Justin Trudeau. He has no Lego.
He just won't. I'm
just doing dumb dad jokes
that's
before
fine,
they throw
buddy.
me out.
That's fine. And by the way, Justin Trudeau also had very little power. I'd say Katy Perry had more power than Justin Trudeau.
For sure, yeah.
But that's just me.
She wears the pants there.
Doug in Mount Vernon says, Ruby Rose, I kissed a girl and it turned out to make me sick and I didn't like it.
Did not like
and
it.
And I threw up.
Allegedly threw up.
That's...
On a teacher accidentally showing nude photos. This happened at a high school in Snohomish. Doug in Mount Vernon says, back in the day, we had to go to the library to look at National Geographic magazines. Now you just have to sit in class during a technology malfunction.
Look at those boobies.
Todd and Birian writes, they sent them to woodshop.
By the way, anybody else have my woodshop teacher?
Yeah.
Okay. Right? Reeked of alcohol.
Yeah.
Had 3 fingers on one hand.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was at a central casting.
Is that a required thing for woodshop teachers? Is missing digits?
Well, I think you start with them all.
Are these the people you want teaching you how to work with wood?
Don't do this.
Yeah.
Okay. Captain Hook.
I actually really love those classes. I remember
I loved
it was so
woodshop.
much fun. Yeah. Did you ever have small gas engines? Was that a class that was offered at your school?
I didn't have, but I went to a technical high school.
Yeah.
So we had like surveying, we had foundry, we had welding, we had sheet metal, a semester on sheet metal.
That's awesome.
We had wood shop, we had all these things.
They don't have that stuff anymore.
We have mechanical drawing.
I want them to have that for my kids.
Practical skills.
Yeah.
There's
Trades.
returns.
Yeah.
Trades.
Just like make you comfortable picking up a screwdriver and fixing something yourself. Yeah.
Turn a wrench.
There you go.
All right, go for it, Spike.
On the library levy, $480 million for the library. It's cheaper to just demo the thing and rebuild. Oh my gosh. Buddy, have you seen what it costs to build anything these? I don't know.
In fairness, they have 27 buildings. If they demolished 27 buildings, I'm pretty sure they could not rebuild them for $480 million.
It would be over $15 million a building.
It would be. Well,
bring your own book.
Maybe they could. 206 says that much for the library on property taxes. Yet Seattle cares so much about living affordability in the city. I mean, that's also a good point. You're asking, people are squeezed these days. You're asking for more money.
Sides. Yeah.
Yeah, you might disagree with it. You might agree with it. I do feel like that's a lot of money. And but thankfully, I don't live in Seattle, so I don't have to pay it.
That's at least they're putting it to a vote.
Yes.
If the city of Seattle citizens think that's too much, vote it down by all means, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It beats having them say, we got a library emergency. We can't get enough copies of Charlotte's Web, so we're going to raise a $500 million levy.
Yes. It's been a while since I've read Charlotte's Web. I bet you that holds up.
Holds up. It really does.
I bet you that's good.
Yep.
All right, fun show today, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. John Curley is coming up next, so stick around for him, and we will see you back here tomorrow, Friday. It's going to be a great show. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Charlie Harger.
And I'm Amanda Factor.
The president continues to say the war with Iran will be over soon. We'll have the latest developments.
The Mariners come home to take on Texas. The Rick Riss Show comes your way at 8:15.
Luke Ducey roamed around T-Mobile Park to find his fan of the week.
All Holden has your weekend planner, and Sully with traffic every 10 minutes.
So join us tomorrow, 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait, and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, John, why don't you tell everybody why you started going to Longevity Medical Clinic?
No, I don't want to do that. I can tell you, I started going to Longevity Medical Clinic before I started doing these commercials, but why I went is not important.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay. I'll tell you. I was a Sammamish City Council member, and whenever they had asked me to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I couldn't make it through the whole thing without crying. I know, it's so dumb. I mean, I know I'm patriotic, but what the heck? So I go into Longevity Medical Clinic, and I explained this to them, that there's something wrong with my hormones or something, and they see the testosterone and the estrogen are all out of balance. We balance all that stuff, and I can do the Pledge of Allegiance without crying. But I've also noticed that I deal with stress a lot better, don't I?
Yes, you're a lot easier to live with because you're getting more sleep, you have more energy, you're better organized, and I'm not helping you look for your car keys every morning.
Right, because now I've taken the steps to take care of my mind and body. I strongly recommend anybody get the free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riley with Olympic Hot Tub. We're here to help you achieve total wellness at home. Right now, save up to $2,800 on a saltwater hot spring spa for fabulous healthy soaks. Or save up to $12,000 on an endless pool swim spa and turn your backyard into a year-round swim oasis. These massive savings end April 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub. Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington